All right, we are going episode 28, baby. So
Oh yeah, yo.
got something to address before we get started. So Chris is not here today because so he's got classes and stuff going on, and so he has kind of been on the fence lately as to whether he wants to continue doing the podcast because it's a big time obligation. So we don't know right now. It's kind of up in the air whether he's going to continue doing it. If he does, cool. If not, we're probably going to change the name because it is Cool Ranch Corner and his name is Cool Ranch Chris, So I guess we'll have a better answer for that next week when we do the next episode as to whether we're rebranding or not. But hopefully that's not the case. But no Chris today, so it's just the three of us.
Just as my little take on it, I still think Cool Ranch Corner still makes sense because you're Danny Dorito and you're not specifically like nacho cheese Dorito or taco Dorito. So Cool Ranch kind of still makes sense.
Maybe.
Granted, I know that's what he goes by, but like,
that's true.
I don't know if it's worth a rebrand. To be honest, that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
The anti-Cheeto squad. Well, we have Creators Unite, and then we have the Burn Down Cheetos weekly meeting.
Just a podcast where once a week we get together and just talk shit about Cheetos.
Exactly.
Pretty much. That'd be fun.
So I know Kyle was out of town. I was obviously out of town. I was gone for a week. I went to Disney World, which was awesome.
I was too.
I'm wearing my Tower of Terror shirt. The best ride there.
Oh, you're filling in Chris's spot with the lag.
Am I?
Oh, yeah, a little bit.
That's weird. Okay.
Should be good now.
I also got a new PC, so I'm really happy with that.
I was gonna say that new PC.
Let's go.
Gotta be kicking in.
Finally got RTX 3080, so now I don't have to use my CPU to encode my stream.
Yeah.
So like I was actually playing Fortnite and getting like I think my average low was like 150, and then my and I think this is on medium settings. Or maybe it was low, but like the biggest thing is if you have the 3D resolution like any less than 100, it looks like dog shit. The graphics look terrible, so I keep the 3D resolution at 100, but everything else is low. And I have it capped at 240 FPS because that's what my monitor does. So it fluctuates between 240, and then like when things are all chaotic, it's like 150. So
did you try playing on Ultra?
Yeah, I did.
And streaming?
I didn't stream it, but like I like played with it like to see like what I would get, and I think with Ultra all settings high I was getting like 130 frames or something like that. So
okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And like
I play it on that. I got 2080.
Yeah.
I don't really worry about frames because
I don't either.
It's not going to matter to a streamer or to a stream.
Yeah.
It's not like they're going to see that. So.
Everybody's like, you got to get more frames so you can shoot people quicker. Like a millisecond faster.
Yeah, like literally.
Yeah.
Like half of a millisecond.
Do you see much of a color difference at all? Like the graphics like feel like brighter and more vibrant?
Not necessarily, because like the graphics in the game are still the same. It's just like I can my PC can handle the load of higher graphics better, man. What I'm really excited to do is play like I've thought about playing through like the Modern Warfare campaign again, because like that's a really good looking campaign, and I played that on my 1080 Ti, and I was like struggling to get like 60 FPS on like I think like medium or high settings. So like put it on like ultra settings and like probably get like 120 FPS with RTX ray tracing on and all this other stuff. Look pretty badass.
Do you mean the 2019 remake or the
remake?
The Call of Duty 4? Oh, okay.
There ain't no ray tracing in the Call of Duty 4. Modern
It
Warfare.
looks beautiful. The remaster for 4 looks incredible. Like at least from what I saw on PS4.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I did play the Vanguard beta before I left.
what'd you think?
It's very buggy, and like the fact that it comes out in like a month, it's not looking good. But I will say that the game feels better, like because it's the Modern Warfare engine. The destructive barriers and stuff is really weird. Like I don't get why they added that.
Yeah.
Like it kind
They gotta
of
compete with Battlefield.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, like, it looks cool when like you're shooting around and like all of a sudden you can just like bust a window open and start shooting people, you know. But like when you're walking through like just like a side alley and there's like a random wooden fence in the like random wooden barrier in the road, and you like if you sprint and hit it, it breaks. So like you're just like boom for no reason, you know, like it's just random. The sniping feels very weird. I don't know if anybody felt that way.
Good.
Yeah.
No,
Sick
like
of the sniping in COD.
no, like people are still getting crazy shots and quick scoping and all that stuff, but it just feels clunky. It feels clunky.
Oh.
The whole thing, it felt like World at War, like the clunkiness of World at War with the graphics of trying to be Modern Warfare 2019 is how I felt about it. But like also, I thought, and I don't like Cold War. I thought the Cold War beta was smoother than Vanguard. But like that's I absolutely despise it, to be honest with you.
Vanguard?
That was so.
I had fun. I like the gunsmith. The gunsmith has got even more to it, but a lot of it is just historically inaccurate because like they had to like compensate for the fact that there wasn't as many attachments back then and stuff. So that's very strange. And then the other thing was like there's this sun glitch. I don't know if you saw. Where like
the sun is horrible.
They tried to make the sun look really realistic, but something was broken on it, and so like if you even had like one ray of sunshine in your like line of sight, it would like white out your whole corner of your screen, like you're freaking staring into the sun.
Like
flashbang
level. Almost.
Yeah, like it's like you can't see anything. Yeah, and so like that was very annoying. I like there's just little things where it's like this. They say that this game has been in the works for how long?
Long time.
A long time compared to Cold War.
Each one usually is in at least 4 or 5 years, I think they say, because each team is working on one while the other one works on the other.
But the people who made this are the ones that got fired from Cold War. So they got fired from Cold War, and then I think they had like a year and a half to make this, or 2 years or something. So not the full 3 years. But for Cold War being rushed in like half a year to get it to like a playable state, like it definitely feels like Vanguard is there's like no excuse for some of the bugs that are in it. It's like how is this like it's like do they have half of the people working on it or something like that? It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, did you see Activision settled their lawsuit? Finally?
I did not. That was quick.
For 18 million, and then somebody made a point that the CEO, I believe it's the CEO of Activision, is set to make 154 million.
Wait,
so
what lawsuit are you talking about?
To settle was only 18 million, because you didn't hear about that?
No, I know there was a huge lawsuit, but like
huge that went to harassment and everything happening in Activision, and just like employees getting treated like shit.
But that went to the state. It went to a state level. I feel like there's no way that would have been settled already.
I just seen an article this morning. Like I said, you never know on the internet how accurate anything is, but
I think Activision had more than one lawsuit going on.
I believe the article also said it was the one pertaining to the harassments and all that.
Huh. Dude, because that was a really it did not look good. They were like shredding documents and then being like, "Oh, what are you talking about?" Like,
well, that's what the issues they're having though with like all these games too. Like I seen an article at one point where they said literally all updates for World of Warcraft had to be put on halt because they didn't have a development team to do anything. Because they own Blizzard too.
Yeah.
So, which is huge. So
that's so. Oh, man.
Yeah. The fact you couldn't keep up with World of Warcraft, a game that's been out for well over a decade and has a huge player base, like, eesh.
Did you guys get into Cyberpunk at all when that came out?
A little
Never
bit.
did.
I was so hyped for that game, and then it came out, and like I played it on PC, and
Same.
it felt like the game just like you could tell that they focused on making like the first third of the game like super playable and less bugs and stuff like that. The farther you progress into the game, the more bugs there were, and the more missions that were broken and stuff like that. And the really crappy thing is that they should have never even tried to make a port for PS4 and Xbox One. Like the fact that they even tried to do that was ridiculous. Because now what's happening is the PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation 4 version, or the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X or whatever the new Xbox is, they're literally playing the same port of the game as the PS4 and Xbox One version, except like double the FPS. So like any crappy thing they do to make it playable on PS4 and Xbox One makes the version that people bought for PS5 and Xbox One Series X suffer. Like they don't get as good of a game because they're trying to compensate for the lower tier consoles.
Well, that game should have only been on next gen and PC anyway.
I agree.
It sucks to talk for like the older gen people that can't get their hands on anything new, or a PC. But
and like, I hope it becomes the game that it was supposed to be, at least to a certain extent, within like the next year or two. But I mean, some of the downgrades that they're making to console have accidentally been also applied to the PC version. People are noticing now, and like, there's no reason for that. Like the PC version's fine. Like if anything, PC is the only way you should play that game right now.
Yep.
But there's just so many things that I've seen people point out. Like people have noticed that when you're like walking, if you pay attention in the very far distance, you can see cars like spawning in and out. Like in a very far distance. So like you can see how they're trying to like conserve resources and stuff like that. But like it's just the fact that like Grand Theft Auto 5, a game that's been out for how long now? Like 10 years, it feels like. The fact that game, when it came out, had a better use of resources and spawning in cars and NPCs and stuff like that, just goes to show like how much of a mess Cyberpunk is. You know, I was really hoping it was going to live up to the hype, but like it really feels like one of those games where they promised like this massive crazy thing, and like honestly, when you play Cyberpunk, it's like there's games that came out like a decade ago that are better than this. Like it's like honestly, they probably should have.
Ourselves. GTA 5 didn't come out until my birthday of 2013, September 17th.
Oh, so 8 years.
It's not a decade yet, but close.
8 years, dude.
Just wanted to fact check it in case somebody was like, "Oh, it's not been 10." You know.
Yeah. But like, there's all this DLC and stuff like that might not happen now because of the mess that the game is. You know. I want to revisit it again someday.
DLC for Village, Resident Evil Village, still don't have no DLC.
Did the Resident Evil Reverse ever come out?
It's delayed to 2022, I think.
Fuck, dude. I was hoping to play that. It's a cool concept.
You guys see that? Was it not Left 4 Dead? Back 4 Blood is coming to Game Pass for Xbox users.
Yeah, I think we talked about that.
Yeah, don't gotta pay for it.
I will be streaming that in my first 24-hour stream in like 4 or 5 months. But it feels like 3 or 4 months, I think, since I've done one. So,
well, I don't know if I'll be on there for the full 24 to help you out, but
I don't blame you if you don't want to. I'm thinking about like with the way my sleep schedule is and stuff right now. That's gonna be brutal.
What day is that? That it comes out the 24th,
the 10th.
So it comes out the 12th.
Yeah.
Comes out the 12th. But if you get the Ultimate Edition, you get it 4 days early. So I'll probably be doing
Which is
it
on Game Pass.
And let me see, because October 12th is what? October 12th. It's probably a Friday, right? October 12th is a Tuesday,
Or usually
hell
Tuesdays.
yeah, dude, it works out, man. Because I want to stream it like Saturday, like evening. Like I want to stream from Saturday evening to Sunday evening, and then I'm gonna take Monday off. Like I'm not gonna do shit but TikToks on Monday, because I gotta sleep. Yeah. I gotta get me some beauty sleep after that.
There's another game that's coming out too soon. Back for Blood and what was the other
that works out perfectly, dude.
Far Cry.
I'll be playing it early.
Far Cry 6. Yep.
Far Cry 6 comes out.
So the October 7th. I think that's the one I got confused.
Ooh, I might be playing both of those.
Yeah, man.
That's good. That's good. Okay.
And the Battlefield beta is on the 6th.
Ooh.
Yeah, we got a jam pack. Finally, we got some shit to play, man. It's coming.
Yeah.
The drought is ending.
My thing is that I'm gonna be out until November now.
Yeah.
Which I'm happy about because I was gonna be on vacation.
Dude, that makes me nervous though, man. The fact that they have to delay it a month, like, those investors are like, we got to delay it the least amount possible. Like, give us 3 months. I'm like, we'll give you a month. Mm-hmm. And they're like, okay, because they want it to come out by the holidays, and like, they don't want to miss that window. But the fact that they have to delay it a month, it's usually never enough time.
The only reason why they had to is because of COVID. That's what they said in their announcement, was COVID set them back so much.
They said they have
the last week.
They said they still have finishing touches to do, but they delayed the beta as well, which makes me think it's not in a playable state. Like there's something wrong with it optimization wise. So we'll see. I'm really curious.
We'll
I like, because you look at Call of Duty, and I would honestly say that this Vanguard beta, at least the one that I played, because there was different, there's like the early access one, blah blah blah, for PlayStation and stuff. The beta that I played, server wise, was pretty smooth. Like I feel like every time there's a beta or like a new COD comes out, the first like day or two, servers are dog shit, and like everybody's having trouble trying to get into the game. But the server wise, the beta was pretty smooth, and so I'm curious to see if Battlefield has any issues when they do their beta server wise, because I got early access, so.
Oh yeah.
I think I could play it on the 7th.
Maybe.
Dude, that's like a week away.
You guys got to get New World.
I don't have time for that game.
Got to do it. You got to do it.
That's one of those grindy games.
Got to do it, man.
I can't.
Get a grind
it's
game
so
right
fun.
I can't. I don't have the time, dude.
Fun.
I don't have enough resources up here to play a game like that right now.
Dude, I know. That's why you hit me up, because we got to get these Venom flavors out, and I was like, dude, New World just dropped yesterday. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I had to play it a little bit though.
I got a question for you guys, because Kyle, you're in Florida.
Yep.
Ben is in California. I'm in New Mexico. So New Mexico, I was not paying a whole lot of attention to it, because I was like, okay, so they're not going to sell marijuana here until April of next year. Or it says at the latest, like, sales people will start opening their own like shops for recreational sale by April.
Correct.
But apparently back in June, I think it was like June 21st, it is now like legal for anybody over the age of 21 here to just possess it. So like if you get pulled over and you have it, like, you're good. So I'm like,
up to a certain amount. Yeah. I believe it's,
I think it's 2 ounces. 2 ounces of flour, and then I think it's up to 16 grams of concentrate, which is a lot. That's a lot, dude. That's a lot. Because those pens? Because like when I was in California, when I tried it, I vaped it, and I liked vaping it, because then it's like there's no smell, and like, neighbors and stuff. But what's it called? I remember those were always like a gram, and that shit lasts forever. Like, I didn't smoke a ton, because I was always busy, and like I can't drink or smoke and then try to work. That's not true. When I smoked, as long as I was not doing anything that required me to like be like live streaming or anything like that, like if I'm just working, like editing, oh dude, it puts me in the zone. And like that's always when I came up with a lot of good TikTok ideas when I was a little high. But apparently it's totally fine here. So if I wanted to go to Colorado and get some, I'm good to go. And I think I could how does it work with airports? Like if you have if it's legal in your state and you're flying to another state that's legal, you're good to go, right? But
dude, okay.
the thing is if you're in a state where it's fine, they don't care. But if you land in a state where it's illegal, you can get fucked over there, right?
So I was just in New York this past weekend, right?
Mm-hmm.
I completely forgot that this is where I keep all my shit.
In a pineapple?
I completely forgot that I had this, which has. Am I allowed to show it?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
So I had like a pipe. I had multiple lighters on top of, just a little bit of.
Hey, I just want to make it clear. I got anxiety. I'm always stressed out. I do have a little bit of PTSD and stuff like that. So I found that it definitely helped a lot with like that stuff, and like there's all with anything in moderation. Like when like obviously there's a certain point where like if you're drinking all the time, probably an alcoholic. You know what I mean? Like if you can't go a day without drinking, so like everything in moderation. But
yeah.
This past vacation was rough. I hadn't drank really much up until the vacation. I was like, man, it's almost like every other day I was drinking. I'm like, holy shit.
But what's the status of marijuana in Florida?
Still not legal, only medically.
Medically.
And I have no idea how this state hasn't passed like recreational use and everything.
Florida's a weird state, man. It's a weird state.
Florida definitely
like political wise.
Do you
I remember
Go ahead.
Okay.
Well, I was gonna say, like, do you know, like, how? Sorry.
There
do
you
you
go.
know, like, are you able to bring lighters on a plane? Because I had this whole thing on my carry.
No.
They'll get pissed off, dude. They get so pissed when you try to bring a lighter. Yeah.
Yep.
I got this through TSA then. Like, I forgot it was in my backpack. Like this.
Oh.
Well, I mean, I've heard stories like people.
Yeah, sometimes they don't check very well.
It literally just depends on your luck. Because like I've been to airports and I've seen dogs. Like they'll have a dog going around like sniffing around.
Denver's notorious for it.
I didn't see any dogs when I was at Denver this last time, but I'd seen it before when
they
I was
don't not every
traveling in
time,
the military.
but they're notorious for having it more than others.
But what the other thing I was gonna say though is like I've heard stories like people will fly through the airport with like a wooden box in their pocket that just has like joints in it and stuff. Like and they won't get stopped.
When we left Denver, because obviously it was legal there.
Don't do that. I'm just saying I heard that.
Oh yeah, no.
She
had her jacket on, and in her sleeve she had this little tiny zipper, and she totally forgot that she had put a medical joint in there, and it's in a vial. And she just went right through TSA and everything, flew with it, and she sent it to me after. She goes, I just flew with a joint in my pocket. I was like,
yeah.
But I've flown with edibles and everything, like when we've gone to Denver. And I've come back with edibles and all kinds of stuff, and they don't
edibles
check.
Are the safest way, yeah.
Yeah, because it's like they look like cookies, or ain't whatever else you get. Like they're not gonna. I'm sure they know, but it's like they're not really gonna check. Looks like you're just bringing on snacks,
Yeah.
But
it's starting to feel like weed is almost as commonplace as like beer or wine in like a social setting. Because I've been to a and I think like
just one or the other. You pick your poison,
I hate ever since I tried marijuana, like my desire to drink has just like gone away. Because there's so many things about drinking that I don't like, because I never really liked drinking liquor. Liquor, like I feel like liquor is one of those things where you have to get like really accustomed to drinking liquor all the time for your body to like be like cool with it. Because like there's been times where like I took a couple of shots and they were too close to each other and I threw up because it was like my body was like, what the fuck, dude, this is poison.
Sure.
And especially
and
since
then you could get like me where I have to drink at least a half of a fifth to even feel anything. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, like where your tolerance is super high. Yeah,
dude, it's so.
I never had that issue because
I've
always been around like 130 to 140-ish pounds.
Yeah.
So that's never been an issue for me. But like the negative side effects of drinking just like don't feel worth it to me anymore. Yeah. Like
I'm in the same boat. After this past weekend, like I have acid reflux really bad, and my drink of choice is vodka, cranberry, and Sprite.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, cranberry and soda are like two of the worst triggers for acid reflux. And then on top of that, if you eat anything, so if like the night that we had our little get together, we had pizza. So not only the red sauce is going to already dude, I had the worst acid reflux. We're all trying to play games and hang out as a group. And I'm like, dude, my I'm still like drinking and doing everything and just fighting through the acid reflux. But that is the worst it's been in a long time. Yeah. And I was not having a good time. And I think I was having like shit even afterwards, like the past 2 days. That's why I'd seen you liked my tweet. I had this tickle in my throat and I've had it before, but it's like, feels like you need to cough, but you don't actually have a cough. And of course, during the COVID times now, you get a little freaked out, especially after traveling and all that shit. But one of the things that acid reflux can do is it can mess that all up, your esophagus and everything, and it can leave that tickle in your throat or a scratch that seems like you got a cough, and sometimes can lead to a cough. But I ended up taking some of my acid reflux medication last night, and then that cleared up too. So, but acid reflux is not fun. That's probably my biggest downside to drinking. Other than I always feel like groggy. I definitely am one of the guys that always gets like the brain haze or whatever you call it. Where it's just like for the next day or two, you're just hazy and out of it and you're not on point. You're messing up doing stupid stuff. So and I definitely don't feel like I'm like in the grind too when I'm like editing or just working in general on anything. Yeah. I'm just like out of it.
I also don't like how like, so like when I smoked, like it felt like, if I took like one hit off of a pen, then like 45 minutes later it was pretty much gone. But like if you drink like 2 or 3 beers, like you feel that for like 2 or 3 hours. You know what I mean? Like it's a much longer thing. Mm-hmm. And then you get dehydrated and like, like I've like after I did the comedy improv show, everybody who did the show, we went down the street to this like pub and got some beers, and I had one like 20-ounce Guinness, and I had a pounding headache after that because I didn't drink enough water that day, so it just dehydrated the shit out of me.
Also drank a Guinness though, and that's real.
Oh, I've always drank Guinness. I love Guinness because it's nitro, and so like because I get super bloated. Right. Yeah, I hate that bloated feeling when you drink normal beer, and so if I drink Guinness, I don't get that.
Drinking, by the way.
Yeah, but Guinness is only like 3.2% or something like that. So like it's a little less than a normal beer. So you have to drink more of it. But I've always liked the taste of it.
Yeah. Are you sure?
Let me see.
I thought Guinness was 6%.
No.
Guinness is on the higher end.
No, it's not. Because you got to understand, other countries, like they have different. Oh, it's 4.2. Sorry. So it is normal.
It's definitely a little higher. Yeah, that's normal. That's like Bud Light's like right around there. Any of the main beers.
Dude, they had a
I think Modelo's are 5.
Dude, right when Stranger Things season 2 came out, they came out with this Guinness it was like a Guinness Nitro IPA. And I don't like IPAs, but an IPA in like Europe and stuff like that is different than an IPA here.
Right.
Like they don't like it just tastes so much different. And so it's like that is like 6%, and like you can literally like I'll say like after having it a couple of times and like finding out that I was like, oh, this is like perfect. Like it's a smaller can, I think, too, than like a normal Guinness, or it might be the same. But like you can just pound those and you feel like totally fine because it's nitro. And so like that was like a good way to get pretty drunk really quick.
Pretty toasted.
Yeah, and so like I remember I got like a 6-pack of that, and there was a grocery store literally like a 2-minute walk away from me. So I would just like walk down the street, grab a 6-pack, sometimes already a little slizzard. And like I just be walking down the street. Yeah, that was there was this poster that we saw at when I was at aviation technical school, and it was like a alcohol, like one of those posters that like talks about like alcohol addiction and like moderation and stuff like that, and it was like all these different terms for being drunk, and everybody was always laughing because in big word, like the biggest word on there was slizzard. But yeah, no, dude, I remember I got a stuffed crust extra most bestest from Little Caesars,
of course.
Which that's a solid pie right there. That's a lot of food. And then I got a 6-pack of that Guinness Nitro IPA, and I watched the whole entire second season of Stranger Things. And I think halfway through, I went and got like another 6-pack. So I was just like, I literally for like, I think it was like 10 or 11 hours or something like that. I was just sitting there on a Friday night, like, and then all of a sudden the sun comes up and I'm like, oh shit, I should probably go to sleep.
So cool.
I mean, it was
It's
like,
so cool.
it was a chill thing, but I was living alone, man. It's kind of depressing now that I think about it, you know? I'm just sitting there like drinking by myself. I had just turned 21. So like, you know, I was like, wait, so if I want to just go buy a 6-pack of beer and then just drink it while I play video games, I can do that. You know? That was never a thing before that.
That's cool. Have you ever tried Belching Beaver? They're
the hell is that? Is that a beer?
The best nitro. They make like it's like Belching Beaver's like a brand. They do like other beers, but like their nitro milk stout, I think is what it's called. Some kind of like cocoa.
You got to be
milk thing.
careful with like milk stouts and stuff though, because you drink too much and it'll upset your stomach. At least in my case.
Yeah.
Like I went to like a beer. There's a beer and bacon festival in San Francisco, and so like you literally just go around and they just let you try beers. Like you pay like $40 for a ticket. And bacon, like all kinds of bacon stuff, like bacon pizza, bacon sandwiches, bacon pastries, all kinds of stuff, right? And it's like in like this it's in this like town square type area, so it's like a ton of people. And I tried a lot of milk stouts, and all of a sudden I was like, dude, I don't feel good. So I was like, oh, did you like which ones did you drink? And I was like, a lot of them are like because I kept going around, I'm like, I like Guinness, and they'd be like, oh, try this, and it's like a stout, you know. But like a lot of them were like really heavy, and so it was like, ugh.
The heaviness will fuck you up for sure.
But Guinness is not Guinness. I'm pretty sure, like okay, this is gonna sound weird, and like we never really talk about alcohol and like you know like marijuana and stuff like that much, so I feel weird talking about it. But
sure.
If you had to, if somebody's like, okay, I don't know, just to throw a number out there, like $100,000, you have to drink a keg of beer or whatever. Like you have to finish it within like 24 hours or something like that. I don't think that's possible, right? That's a lot of beer. You can't do that in 24 hours.
I know, friends.
But like, okay, if you had to drink a keg of beer, like what type of beer would you choose? Because I think Guinness would be super easy compared to other ones to drink. For me, at least.
Bud Light.
Bud Light?
If I had to, if I was doing an insane amount,
If I had to pick it'd
be something light.
If I had to pick a light beer, I'd probably go with Miller Lite.
Miller's so...
You don't like Miller Lite?
I don't. It's one of the worst beers ever.
Bud Light and Budweiser, to me, I just never... Like, I was like, these are just like, I don't know. Like, they're fine. Right. But I like Miller Lite because it's like super low carb and it still tastes pretty good. Because like Michelob Ultra tastes like water. Mick Ultra. It tastes like water.
But Mick Ultra gets your fix too if you're trying to watch the calories and all that good stuff.
I'm pretty sure Miller Lite and Michelob Ultra are like pretty damn close to each other.
Probably the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
So Miller Lite was always my go-to for light beers.
I like Blue Moon. Do you guys like that?
Blue Moon's great.
I can't drink a lot of it, but yeah, it's good every once in a while. Yeah.
It's
like
heavier,
one here and there.
Like...
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a thicker beer.
Yeah.
I think that qualifies as like a craft beer, doesn't it?
I think so. I don't know much about beer. I just know that I like Guinness and Blue Moon.
What about like cocktails? Yeah. I like Bloody Marys.
Ooh.
You don't like Bloody Marys? Dude, I love Bloody Marys.
Bloody Marys. Ugh. Out of any cocktail
you don't like tomato juice and stuff like that? Like, what is it that you don't like about it? That's probably it. Yeah, if you don't like to,
well, also my acid reflux, I can't do it.
I like spicy stuff, so they'll be like, how much hot sauce do you want? I'm like, give me a generous amount, and they'll be sitting there like,
oh god,
putting all kinds of Tabasco in there and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Oh man,
I love it.
So do you drink like mezcals and stuff like that, like the spicy?
No, like I never drank a lot of cocktails, but like if we went to like brunch, I would always get like a big Bloody Mary.
Oh yeah,
goes really good with like an omelet.
Yeah.
Dude, there was this airport cafe when me and my wife were like dating when we like started like when we reconnected, right? And there was this airport cafe really close to this base that I was like deploying to, and that was where I would get to see her because it was in LA, and normally I was in San Francisco, which is like a 10-hour drive from her.
Right.
I don't think it was 10 hours, but still a lot longer. There's this airport cafe, and they had this enchilada omelet, and it's the best omelet I've ever had in my life.
Sounds like it would be good.
So good, dude. And it's like massive. Like you eat the whole thing, and you're like, you ever like eat way too much, and you're like, oh, I regret that. Like I never regretted it. I would be like feeling sick, and I'd be like, no, that was worth it.
He's definitely hit the spot.
I'd eat more.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah, my go-to cocktails used to be like Jameson and Coke or Jameson and ginger ale. And then I switched out from whiskey, started drinking vodka. Now it's like a Tito's and cranberry and Sprite.
Yeah, I did a lot of like vodka sodas with Tito's.
Dude, we have this one down here in Florida. It's at this place called Frenchie's Cafe. And I think it's called, I want to say it's called a Miami Vice, I think. And it's like pina colada mixed with like some sort of berry or raspberry or something like that. Also type consistency, like a slushy kind, like pina coladas have that slush to them.
Yeah.
It's like that, and they mix the two together, and the taste is phenomenal. It's just like you're drinking like a dessert, but it's alcohol, and it's gonna get you fucked up.
I was always very conscious, at least when I drink cocktails. Like whenever I was drinking cocktails, it was like, oh, like I don't want to drink a bunch of beer because it's like, everybody's like, that's like eating bread because of all the yeast and all that stuff, right? So I'd be like, okay, I'll get like a vodka soda or something like that. It's like 100 calories, and it's stronger. And like, so I would always do like really simple drinks, like a like if you do like a tequila soda and they put lime in it, that's really good. Like it was basically like simple drinks, not a lot of calories, stuff like that. So I never really tried a bunch of stuff. I remember on my 21st birthday, I got super drunk. And like I was on a huge Mad Men binge, so I was like, I gotta try a what is it called? It's like whiskey and like cherries. Not a Manhattan. Is it a Manhattan?
Manhattan,
no, old fashioned.
Old fashioned, yeah. I was like,
fashioned.
I gotta try an old fashioned. They're always drinking it in this damn show, and I tried it, and I was like,
it's gross as hell.
I don't think I like whiskey, man. I just never liked whiskey.
I thought an old fashioned isn't that a martini, or is
no? It's whiskey, and then they put like sugar and bitters in it and stuff like that. Like it's definitely like that's a man's drink.
Yeah.
That's like, oh, like I'm tired of drinking just straight whiskey. Let me throw a little something in there, But like, yeah, not for me.
Yup.
Like I just never really liked whiskey, I don't think. But I like tequila, but tequila definitely like gives you the worst hangovers somehow.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what it is. It's something about the way that it's made. Like there's something in alcohol that leads to worse, like to having a worse hangover or not. Because I believe the science between a hangover is your brain is literally dehydrated, and like you'll have a headache. The headache is because the fibers that attach your brain to your skull have tension on them. So it's a different type of headache because like it's your whole brain.
Right.
And then like you're dehydrated, but it's like it takes a while for the electrolytes that you would need to replenish to actually make it to your brain. So like you're sitting there just like drinking Gatorade and all this stuff, and it's not an immediate fix, like it takes like a whole day to recover from that shit. And I hated that.
Yeah.
It was always like the next day was just trashed. All you do is you just sit around like, and like I've only been hungover a couple times where it was so bad that like I couldn't even eat. And that's the worst. Like where like you get nauseous.
Oh yeah.
And like you'll start eating and you'll feel a little better for a second, and then you get nauseous again, and then you just feel like throwing up the food you just ate. So it's like that's the worst. I like that. Those are the type of days where I'm like, I'm never drinking again. And then the next week you're like, hey, like,
let's go. disregard the previous week completely. Yeah, I've done that once or twice.
Yeah, but
oh man, yeah, I've gotten to the point now where it's like I kind of know like when enough is enough, because I used to be the type to like, oh, let's keep drinking until we pass out essentially at like 3 a.m, and now I've gotten to the point where it's like once I hit my buzz and my drunk, like if I know that I've drank a half fifth of vodka, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be okay for the rest of the night. Like that'll be in my system for quite a while,
dude.
So I just stop and then I start drinking water. And I eat something, and my hangovers do not last all day long. I might have a little headache when I wake up, but they do not last nearly as much as they used to. But
drinking a lot of water is key.
Yeah,
that's the key.
At least 2 bottles before you go to bed, and you're gonna have to get up and piss at some point. But usually the first bottle, your body just absorbs because it needs it.
What causes the spins? I want to know what causes the spins, because the spins were always the worst too. Like that.
I'm not entirely sure.
The worst
I've always
feeling.
been curious about that too.
What?
I never really get them though, so I don't.
I've only gotten it when I was like legit drunk, but the spins is an adverse reaction of intoxication that causes a state of vertigo and nausea, causing one to feel as if he's spinning out of control and cannot stop, especially when lying down. It is mostly commonly associated with being very drunk or mixing alcohol with psychoactive drugs. Oh.
Yeah, you can get like that when you smoke and drink too. I've had that before when I smoke and drink.
Yeah, dude, that's the other thing I didn't like. Like one time I was a little high and I drank like 1 beer and I was like, damn, dude, like this really hit me. Like I don't like that feeling, like that crossfade or whatever they call it. I'm not a fan of that. Not a fan of that.
Yeah, it is not a good time.
Last several times I've been drunk, I had the spins, but like I kind of consider it as like a win, as like it was a good night. Look at everything.
You take it as I can't, dude. I'm like, please stop. You're just laying there. Like, I'll never drink again.
Some people's best thing that they can do is laying down on their stomach and 1 foot on the ground, one leg on the bed. And it helps.
But if I'm like just drink a bunch of beer and I'm super bloated, the worst thing is like laying on your stomach, because then you're like your stomach feels like all it's uncomfortable as hell. But dude, the crazy thing was like when I was on a boat, the first like year and a half out of boot camp. We would have port calls, right? Like we would stop in a country and they'd be like, all right, go have fun, like as long as you don't have like duty, you can like go get drunk, whatever. There was people who would literally be drinking until like the minute they weren't allowed to, and like they would get back on the boat and we would have to like set sail and they would still be drunk as hell. I'm like, bro. But like I was just like, God, like watching some of those people, like from the moment they set foot on the ground and they're not in uniform, they are shit-faced. And then for the next 72 hours, they're shit-faced. I was just like, that to me is like, you got a problem.
Yeah.
Like, I just, like, you can't have fun without being drunk,
Yeah, that gets old.
Yeah.
I feel bad for those people. I think, like, the best times being drunk is like, depends on the venue, you know what I mean? Like, depends on the night. Like, it's always in celebration, I think, is when I kind of like let myself go to that next level. But like when it's just like hanging out and stuff and like at somebody's house, like I can't bring myself to be crazy drunk, But,
I've never been. I don't think I've ever been super high either, though. So like, what happens like the higher you get? Like what starts to happen? Like do you start to like get tired? I guess that would depend on what you're smoking.
I think it just knocks you out, man.
It depends on the strand.
Because like I've heard people. Because I've heard of people taking like crazy amounts of like edibles and like they'll be like, I saw Jesus, like they like transport to an ultimate dimension.
Are way more intense.
I've had edibles, but I've never taken. I don't think I've ever taken more than like 10 or 20 milligrams, and even 20 milligrams. I was like, whoa, dude! Like I was like watching a movie, and I'm like tearing up in a scene that shouldn't be that like emotional. You know? Like I'm experiencing emotions like way harder. And my wife is like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, I'm just sad.
I'm a sad boy.
Dude, I actually relate to that so much because I was like, I got high and I watched, I was by myself. I watched 2012 Remember that movie from
2012?
Dude, I feel like watching End of the World shit is like the worst thing you could do when you're high, man. Because you're just like,
I cried in 2012. I thought it was like so not because like the world was ending, but there was like a scene where they're like, oh my god, he loves his family so much, and like the world's ending, and he just wants to like be together with his kids.
Like, it's not even that like from a script standpoint, that movie's just kind of like whatever, you know, like there's not a whole like, it's definitely not like the emotional like weight that you're feeling is definitely not deserved from that movie. Like you barely care about the characters. And you're like, he's got a family.
Exactly. And, like the Russians and that, like the two Russian rich kids with like the big Russian like rich dad and how he like dies. Oh man, I just love that movie so much. But
dude, I watched Volcano. You ever watched Volcano with Tommy Lee Jones, where there's a volcano that erupts like in LA, right? Like it's like something that would never happen, but like it's really high budget and really well done. And like the movie is way more like emotionally like dramatic than it like deserves to be. Like there's a scene where like this like subway, the guy who's like this subway crashes, right? Because the lava's coming and like there's earthquakes happening and shit, and they're like stuck there. And it gets to the point where the lava is like going under the train, right? And there's trying to get everybody off the train. And the conductor, when they crashed, like got knocked out. And so this one guy, and he's a pretty famous actor. I'm trying to think of what he's in. Like if you saw him, you'd be like, oh, that guy. But like he goes to save the conductor, but as he's like walking through the train back, like his shoes are melting and like all this shit. And then like he gets to like the door, like the end of the train, everybody's like, come on, like the lava. And like the lava is still moving, right? So like his time is running out, and like you're like, he's not gonna make it, dude. He's holding a guy up like this, and he just goes, it just jumps and lands straight in the lava, dude. And he just starts sinking, like melting. And he's like, and like he throws the guy and saves the conductor. But then everybody's just watching this guy like just melt alive, and like you almost expect him. Like they literally, you watch him to the point where like his hands disappear, and like I had taken an edible, and I'm just like, he's a hero, you know. I'm like watching this like all dramatic, and like I was like half expecting him to like throw a thumbs up like Terminator style on the way down, you know, like. But like like I was just like, damn man, this is some heavy stuff. And I bet you if I watched it now, I'd be like, that's cool, you know, Tommy Lee Jones. Like no big deal. But yeah, like something that's like way more dramatic. Like I don't know what it is, like you're just like in the moment, you know? It's weird.
Well, it intensifies emotions.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Just like being drunk too does the same thing.
Yeah, but I feel like what I don't know, it's just different, you know, like when you like, and not only that, I feel like maybe it is that way with marijuana as well, but I feel like when it comes to drinking, like everybody's kind of like a certain type of drunk.
It depends on what you're drinking too. I guess tequila, vodka, all that, you know, whiskey, it all hits you different.
My roommate in San Francisco like always like tried to fight people when he got drunk.
Yeah,
you know?
I can't stand those fucking guys.
It's not his fault though, dude. That's just the type of drunk he is. Like he can't help it. Like he would literally be like, I shouldn't drink. Like I should literally just not drink, because when I drink, I start fights. He drank everything, dude.
Okay, whiskey's like a big one it triggers something.
Yeah,
inside
no, it didn't matter. It didn't matter what he drank. He would be drinking White Claws, and he would just be like, "Fuck you," like trying to fight somebody for no reason.
Yeah. That's something within himself he needs to figure out, I think.
I'm like one of those guys, when I get drunk, I'm just sitting there like...
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Yeah. There was like this conference I was at where this guy, it ended up bringing us closer together, and like we're great friends now, but like this guy that I had met who was like this really like high up, or what I thought was like a really high up, like very serious, like good businessman kind of thing. I first meet him, I'm like, wow, this guy's very like well clean cut. He's very like, and I was like intimidated. I was like, damn, like what would he ever want to do with a guy like me, or like our company kind of thing. and we get drunk with him, and he just is completely this different person where he's like you said, thinking everybody wants to fight. He's like, "You trying to scrap, bro? Like, I'll fuck you up. Oh, it's all love. It's all love. But I will fuck you up." And I like fucking like going back and forth, and it's so like we stayed up till 9 a.m, like overnight, calming him down over and over, hugging and over, and then like breaking up a fight, and then doing over and over again.
Yeah,
these kind of people are such a pain in the ass to deal with.
When I was on the boat, these two drunk guys showed up super late, and everybody's like, "Hey, shut up! Like, you're so loud. Are people trying to sleep? It's 2 a.m."
Yeah.
Like on the boat. And like this guy's like, "Fuck you!" And like he's trying to like start a fight, and like somebody comes up and is like, "Dude, calm down!" And he like socked him, like the drunk guy like socked him in the shoulder or something like that, really hard. And he was like, he's like, "Get away from me!" Like socks him, and he's like, "Dude, come on!" And he's like, "I'm sorry, dude, I didn't mean that, this and that." And he's like, "Just go to bed, dude." And he's like, "What?" And he like grabs him, puts him in a headlock. I'm like, "Bro, come on, dude!" Like,
some people get so out of it, it's insane.
Like a damn like, they just flip like a switch back and forth. Like, I'm sorry, dude. You know, then fucking like.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I definitely feel like drinking brings out like you know, after a certain point, like it definitely brings out like worse things than like smoking does.
Yeah, 100%.
And like the decisions too, 100%. You know, like that you make. Like when you're drinking, you're like. Somebody like, "Hey, dude, you know what? Like, we should climb this tower or something, this water tower." And it's like, that's a good idea.
That's a great idea.
Yeah,
I'm here for it.
But like, if you're high, you're gonna be like, "Oh, dude, that's really high up. I'm scared of heights." You know, like I ain't trying to do that. Right. You get like paranoid. I could. What if I fell? Like, you start thinking like worst case scenarios. You like talk yourself out of bad decisions when you're high.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Like when I was
more cautious.
Like I was at a party and like this guy's like shit faced, like totally blackout drunk, and he's just like, "All right, guys, I'll see you later," and grabs his keys, and we're like, "Yo, what the? You're not going anywhere, dude."
Yo, yeah.
You know, like, and he's like, "What? I'm good to go." And I'm like, "Bro, like, how many fingers am I holding up?" And he's like, "Oh, come on, man." Like, I'm like, "Yeah, 'cause you don't know. You don't know, bro. You're that drunk."
My buddy Anthony left the bar one night randomly. Like, we were all just talking outside with this group of people, and all of a sudden he just turns around, starts heading to his car, and I thought maybe he was getting like his smokes or something out of the car. I know what he was doing.
He just peels out.
then somebody in the group was like, "Is he leaving?" I'm like, "I don't think so." And they're like, "He's really fucked up, so we should probably go check." Yeah. So we run over there, and he like literally, because we literally at that point seen him get in his car. He wasn't like trying to grab something out of it. We're like, "Oh fuck, he's really just trying to leave." It was so random because we were all just talking, and he literally just turns around and walks right to his car, like didn't even say anything. So then we see him, like he gets in his car, and I tried to stop him. And I told him, I was like, "Dude, you're way too drunk to, you know, drive home. I'll drive you home, and you can come get your car in the morning, or I'll come get you to come get your car, whatever." And he goes, "No, man, I'm good." And I'm like, "Dude, like, no, you're not. Like, please get out of the car." And he kind of just looked at me, laughed, and just took off. And I'm like, "Well, I don't know what to do. I did everything I thought I could." And so then we watch him right in the same complex where the bar is. There's a McDonald's. So it's like a big shopping thing, and then a McDonald's is more towards like the main street or whatever.
Yeah.
So we see him go to the McDonald's, and he's literally in the drive-thru. And all of a sudden, we're watching him the entire time, and you just see his car slowly but surely just hit the other person that's in the drive-thru. And we're like, "What the fuck?" So two of our friends ran over there. Dude fell asleep waiting in the drive-thru. And literally just like his foot went off the gas or off the brake. And
bruh,
bumper card the dude in front of him, and then the cops got called there. He got a DUI for it, obviously.
Have you guys seen that? Have you guys seen that video where like this guy like walks up, and it's like it looks like North Carolina, I swear. And this guy, and I've got a story now that I think about it. But literally this guy is like crashed into a ditch. His back tires are like out of the air. This guy's not getting out of there, right? And he's like, "Bro, what you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I'm just trying to get my car out of here." And he's like, "Bro, you ain't getting your car out of here." It's so drunk, dude. I'm like, "Oh," but dude, there was a guy. I remember it pretty well because towards the end of school I went to his court martial. got there was this pizza place like right down the street from the school, right from the campus, and like they knew everybody that was there was like from the campus, so like there like everybody in town, there was a lot of cops that were like ex Coast Guard that would go in there like on duty and like get pizza because it was a pizza place, like really good pizza actually, and like all kinds of like good bar food and stuff. Like it was a pretty solid place. So like there would be cops there all the time, and like this guy literally tried to like drive back to the campus, and this cop was like, "Come on, dude, like let me just give you a ride home. Like don't do this, you know, like if you do this I'm gonna have to arrest you." And he's like,
right.
"No, I don't," you know, like arguing with him. And the cop, since he was ex Coast Guard, like he was very lenient with him, and he ended up like, I think he ended up like handcuffing him and just throwing him in the car and driving him back and like letting him go. But like he, you know, he like handled the situation. And the dude literally like I think he took, I don't know if he took somebody else's car, like a friend's car. He's like, "Hey, let me borrow your car." Or he walked back and got his car. I can't remember what the exact story was, but he decided to drive to Burger King and crashed. And then he got I think he took an Uber back to the campus. Maybe that's what it was. I think he took an Uber, got his car, went to Burger King, crashed his car in a ditch. Then he got an Uber, went back to the campus, reported his car stolen. And like his roommate snitched on him, was like, "Nah, he drove his car."
Damn, his roommate snitched. Oh no.
Oh my god.
That's rough.
But yeah, that and like that, I think he was a rescue swimmer too, which is like the hardest thing you could do in the Coast Guard. It's like our equivalent to like Navy SEALs. Like that's our hardest thing you could do. Like there's no way I could do it. And so like they were like, "You're very lucky. Like you have like a dad that works at this base or something like that, and like you're lucky he's got friends." Like literally the guy who's doing his court martial, the captain there, was the commander of the base, was like, "You're very lucky." He's like, "Just know if you mess up again, like you're done, dude." Like he's like, I don't know. He's literally, "I don't know anybody else who's done something like this and gotten off as easy as you have."
Wow.
And he was like, "I strongly suggest you rethink your life decisions." And like he's like, "And if I were you, I would stay away from alcohol for a while." You know, like I'm like, "Geez, dude." And like I think all that happened was he got sent to his base, and for 6 months he was getting paid at the rank lower than he should be, or something like that. Like that's literally all that happened to him. Got a slap on the wrist.
Wow.
And he literally could have killed somebody. Literally could have killed somebody. Crazy. It was like normally like a DUI is like you're done, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what he got, DUI, and then like I think it was like falsifying evidence or something like that because he said that somebody stole it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, dirtbag.
Damn.
That's a classic dirtbag right there.
Oh yeah. Definitely. Oh shit!
Do we want to talk about vacation at all?
I was literally just thinking that.
So, I guess you could start, Kyle. Like, what did you do? You went to like a concert?
Well,
or a festival?
So it's actually a pretty interesting experience. So I had went up initially so I'm from Michigan originally, for those that don't know, and I went up there because my birthday was September 17th. So I wanted to go up there, hang out with all my friends. I don't really have a ton of friends in Florida, so I'd rather go and kick it with all my friends up in Michigan. So we wanted to go and do that. And then I'm a huge Machine Gun Kelly fan. So his tour was rolling through Detroit at the same time that I wanted to go up there. So I wanted to go to that show. And most of my friends, like I got lucky because I live in Florida, and we got a Jacksonville show with MGK back in May. Then he announced tour. So most of my friends have not seen him in almost 2 years because of COVID. So we all wanted to meet up, obviously, and go together. So whole day is good for the most part. We have some setbacks. My buddy's car breaks down the night before, so he couldn't come get me. And I'm like about an hour and 20 from Detroit or something like that. Luckily, I have another friend that could come out and get me because obviously I don't have a vehicle because I flew. And then as we get there, I get to the Airbnb. My buddy Johnny calls me and goes, "Hey, I just locked my keys in my trunk." So they got set back there. Then by the time everybody got there, because normally like So MGK's concerts are a little different because, I mean, people line up for other shows, but we make it like a thing. We call it line trapping. And we'll go and just hang out with everybody. We drink, smoke in line and just meet everybody, talk to people. It's something that we just like really like to do. So that's what we tried to do, but we were going to be late. So we walked over there and kind of seen a few people, and then doors were just about to open. So me and my buddy Ollie were like, dude, like, no, we're not ready to go in. We still need to go drink. We're nowhere near drunk enough to go in there, because we don't try to spend a bunch of money at the venues, because like drinks are like $20 for like a mixed drink. It's ridiculous. So we walked back to the Airbnb. We're only like a quarter mile away. Well, as we're drinking, it starts downpouring like terrible. We're just seeing it out the window of the Airbnb. So we call an Uber to head back, and the Uber couldn't get anywhere. Like, they were having a really hard time parking people at the venue. And I think because it was raining and it's Detroit and that's just how it is. So we ended up just having them drop us off wherever. Well, we get all the way up there. We're already soaked, like not head to toe yet, but like definitely covered in a lot of rain. Yeah. So we get all the way up there, and my tickets was like 2 rows before you even get into lawn. So I would have technically been under the covering, because it was an amphitheater. So they only have like that, like, you know how like that, it's like a awning type thing. I don't know how to explain it. Like a tent, you know?
Yeah.
And it was on the water. It's on the Detroit River. So it was freezing on top of that, winds blowing, and we're soaked. So then all my friends had lawn tickets. So we're like standing out on the lawn thinking this is like what we have to be. And at this point, unbeknownst to us, it was a free for all. People could have went wherever they wanted. Nobody was checking tickets. The security was like minimal. There was nothing. Like, so we're standing there in the rain for half of the set until we realize that, we can move and do whatever we want. So my buddy Lucas went off halfway through the show to find like a dry spot. Because now at this point, I got like an inch of water in my shoe, in my left shoe, for whatever reason. That one was filling up more than my right. And I am soaked head to toe. Hats absolutely soaked. I had a jersey on, shirt, my black skinny jeans, my wallet's getting soaked. Everything was soaked. So, and then of course, like I said, the wind from being on the river, and it was just cold in general because Michigan sucks. Yeah. So buddy finds a dry spot. We ended up being fine the rest of the time, but then we had to walk back to the Airbnb absolutely drenched. So there's like 10 of us, whole squad walks into the Airbnb. We're all soaked. We just like changed out, drying our clothes, drying our shoes, everything. So that was an experience. And then it rained literally. We had the Airbnb for 2 days because we all wanted to hang out in Detroit after. Go shoot photos. We like doing that kind of stuff, whatever, and just mobbing around the city. And it rained all day, every day, for all the days that we were down in Detroit. So we really didn't even we went and had dinner at a place, but we couldn't go to like any of the parks or do anything that we wanted to do. So that kind of sucked. But we made the most out of it. And then Friday was the NF concert at DTE, which is like a really iconic venue in Michigan. It was actually used to be called Pine Knob. And then it was, now DTE, and it's a massive, also an amphitheater outdoor venue. And it was huge. And again, for those that don't know, I went to high school with NF. So it's a really big deal for me to see him, especially in Michigan. So that was why I wanted to go up there. And it was sold out. It was amazing. His stage presence was like unreal, because like the front of the stage levitated, so it would go up on a lift, and then behind he has a drummer in the middle of the stage, and behind that another lift goes up in the air from the stage. So
have you ever seen cool. I saw Blink-182. They had like they did a tour where every concert, what's his name?
Travis.
Travis Barker had like that lift.
Go up on a lift.
Yeah, and he would be drumming like above everybody. I'm like, dude, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's so sick. Cool.
Slipknot does the same thing. I went and seen them at the Tampa Amphitheater down here. They have dual drummers, and they're both on the far right and left of the stage, and they're both on lifts. So they'll go up into the air, and it's not even they get lifted in the air, they spin around at the same time, and they do that. But they used to have their drum, I think it was Avenged Sevenfold's drummer Joey back in the day. I think his name was Joey. They put him on a lift and they made him go upside down and like all kind of, there's a video on YouTube. You can look it up. He's upside down drumming and just on this crazy lift bolted in place and just going nuts.
I can just imagine that going wrong though. Like he's
yeah, he killed it. He absolutely killed it. It was awesome.
He's like seatbelted in.
Really sucked. Yeah. What really sucked about the NF show is that we were late because it took us a while to get in. And then the girl that I was with, she didn't really get to pregame at all. So we were pregaming out in the parking lot real quick. Then we had to walk all the way into the venue and that took a while. And then we had to go to the bathroom, of course. And of course the women's line is way longer than the guys. I was able to go right in. She had to wait. So as we're waiting, and we usually artists, it takes at least 10 minutes past their normal set time to come on stage. 10 to 15 minutes usually they're behind. Nate goes on right at 9 p.m. And we're like, fuck, I'm waiting in line, waiting for her to get out of the bathroom, and he's playing right now. I'm like, shit. So then, because we still didn't get drinks yet, and we still haven't stopped to get merch that we wanted.
Dude, merch is so expensive, though.
Oh, it is. Like but we wanted to hit merch before the show was over because then everybody's in line trying to get merch.
Yeah.
So we went, got drinks, did that. We missed like the first 4 songs, but we went and found our seats and we're like right fucking there. We had pit tickets. So we were like, he was right in front of me.
Oh, sick.
And I'm pretty sure he noticed it was me a couple times because he looked at me and he's like, oh shit, you know? So that was pretty cool. And I ended up being able to film that show because I do that for like my YouTube channel and that. But I missed the first 4 songs. So I was like, I really don't want to post it because I normally am like full show, front row, whatever.
Sure.
Well, then I realized he was coming down to Florida at the Tampa Amphitheater where I had seen Slipknot. So I'm going next Tuesday to see him. So I'm just going to record those first 4 songs. I'm in the pit again. So I'm just going to record those 4 songs and put them up. But his intro, like the beginning, how he starts the show is he comes up the lift behind the drummer. And there's a song that he has called Pay My Dues. And he spits like for a good like minute or so in the beginning. And then it like pauses and he's like, it's like the beat drops or whatever. And he's like, hello. And how his entrance is he comes up that lift and he's on like a jump, like a springboard. And the screen goes white behind him, like with the smoke. And it jumps up and he's like, hello. And he just like Superman comes out of the air and lands on the stage. It's so fucking cool. I had seen it on Twitter and I missed it live. So I'm definitely getting there early for the Tampa show to see it. But man, to see this kid, we're from a small town in Michigan called Gladwin. And we literally had 2 lights in the whole town. There's Amish people there. So to see this kid go from like a talent I used to watch him on talent show stages. Like there's like maybe 400 kids total in our high school. And to see him just come from that to literally a sold out massive amphitheater is just like,
wow,
dude, it was unreal. I turned around and I'm like, holy fuck, this kid made it big, dude. Like, yeah, it was awesome. So it was definitely a good trip. And then Saturday I just hung out with my friends. We played board games, or not board games, but drinking games and card games, stuff like that. And just got to see people I hadn't seen in a long time, obviously due to COVID as well. But yeah, that was pretty much my trip. It was a good time.
That's dope.
Yeah. Well, so I was keeping up the whole time. Danny was going to all the parks. And then he told me, he texted me. It was funny. I think it was, the day after the MGK show, he texted me, goes, just ran into your boy MGK leaving Avatar World. And at first I thought, I'm like, because my brain went to Avatar World, not like the movie. I was like, do they have like a bunch of like celebrity, like, you know, like they have a wax museum with all kinds of celebrities. My brain went to like, they have like an Avatar thing, and MGK is one of them because he's like bigger now, and you know, Tickets to My Downfall did really well. I'm like, maybe they added MGK as like an Avatar, and whatever.
I literally went on this like Avatar like boat ride. Like you literally go, it's like Parts of the Caribbean, but Avatar. And it's actually like super lame. Actually, like it looks cool. But like, it just feels like one of those things where it's like Pirates of the Caribbean is a long ass ride. Like that's like 5 or 6 minutes. You're on a boat and like you see all these different scenes.
That'd be sick.
Avatar was a lot of like plants, and then you like some screens where you see like an avatar run by or like a little animal like run by or something, you know, like. And then there was like only one like animatronic avatar at the end, like drumming or whatever, and I'm just like, okay, like it's cool, but and like little man, like my stepson has never seen Avatar, so like he's just like what the hell is going on here? This looks all weird. Right. He's like, what's that? I was like, oh, it's an avatar, you know? But we're walking out of it, and literally MGK and Megan Fox with this like Disney tour guide walk by, and like I look at like MGK and like I like nod, you know, he's like kind of nods and keeps going, you know, but like that was the extent of it.
He'll know. He knows if you notice him, he's like, oh, okay, what's up? Like he'll say something. That's why I was like, dude, did you say hi? Because he's literally like, if you come up to him, he'll be like, yo, what's up, dude?
If the guide wasn't
so cool,
if the guide wasn't like obviously like fangirling, like I probably wouldn't be able to say hi or something. And like
the guide was fangirling.
Yeah, this chick was talking to them, and she's just like,
Jesus.
Yeah, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Like, and I'm like, oh damn. Like if I was him, I'd be like, can I get a different tour guide? Like she's kind of freaking me out.
He doesn't even like that shit.
Oh god.
And Megan Fox is just like looking around, like.
She loves Disney. They go literally all the time, but it was funny because they went down for Rebel Rock Festival, which was on the 24th, which was like 2 days after our show. So anytime he gets free, and he loves Florida, so anytime he gets free time, they go to Disney and Universal. Yeah. You'll see them. They're probably like one of the biggest celebrities that you'll see out and about. Is the chance you have to see them out and about at these parks and stuff is huge because they're always there.
Yeah.
You know, and she has kids and he has a kid too, so they usually take them and do whatever. But yeah, Kells is cool. Like I'm surprised that you weren't able to like go up and say hi because it kind of sucks.
That guide was
so
just
dope,
like,
dude.
I could tell like they were just kind of like whatever, you know, and like she's just like
he gets
talking 1,000 miles an hour.
Oh, he probably had his annoyed face on. He's like, yeah.
They were just walking, just kind of looking around, like just whatever. And then like it's funny because my wife's like the next day, she's like, look, and it was a TikTok. Somebody was like when MGK and Megan Fox like go on like the Avatar ride like right after you or right before you, and like they literally like did like 2 empty boats before them and 2 empty ones after them, so nobody would bother them. But like they're just in their own boat, just like chilling.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to see they get treatment like that. It's dope.
Yeah. But dude, Disney World was awesome, but at the same time, like I feel like the way that they have it split up into 4 different parks makes every park feel like it's like almost not enough. Like Disneyland, like
it's not what you cut out.
Like it just makes it's almost underwhelming. Because like in Disneyland in California, they have 2 parks, right? They have Magic Kingdom and California Adventure. And like, because there's only those 2 parks, whenever they add a ride, you know, like they just literally add it to one of the parks, you know, or like they replace one, whatever. But there's like a decent amount of rides for the area in California, whereas like Florida, it's like way more spread out, and there's the 4 parks, and there's like like Magic Kingdom, you have to like take a ferry or a train to get there. Like there's like a huge distance because of this like little lake or whatever, or it might be the ocean. I don't know, like a channel from the ocean or whatever. But like Magic Kingdom is the first one we went to, and it was cool because you know like that's where Pirates of the Caribbean and the Haunted Mansion and Jungle Cruise and those rides are at. But there was a couple rides like Splash Mountain and stuff like that where like the height requirement was 40 inches. And my stepson is literally like right at 40 inches. He's like 39. He's like, literally this lady was like, he can't go because he's an eighth of an inch too short. I'm like, are you kidding me, dude?
Right, you know? Like, who cares?
Yeah, like they
I definitely didn't know Lil Man was your stepson either.
Yeah, he's my stepson. It's my wife's kid.
He looks like you.
That's what people say.
That's crazy. Yeah. That's crazy. I didn't know that.
But we got to go on Splash Mountain the 5th day because the 5th day we went to Magic Kingdom because there's 4 parks and we had a 5-day pass. So we went in the afternoon. So we had like 3 hours to go on rides. We went on like Pirates of the Caribbean, Haunted Mansion, like those rides again. And then they let him go on Splash Mountain this time, which they didn't let him the first time. And Splash Mountain is such a badass like little ride, dude.
Yeah.
And there's like this Thunder Mountain Railroad one, which is like you literally get like a little like it looks like a train you would see at the mall, but then it just hauls ass around these like mountains and stuff, and you always feel like you're gonna hit something like, but it dips down and like that's a lot of fun.
Did you guys go to Universal at all?
No, Universal's more adult. Like the rides are a lot like you have to be taller and stuff. So we were like, it's kind of a waste to take little man to that one. But
for sure,
my wife and I might go to the one in California at some point. For my birthday in March or something. We'll make a little trip.
I'm gonna be heading there soon to do Halloween Horror Nights.
Yeah, because that was going on too. So like because my mother-in-law was there to go to that with her boyfriend. So like we went and got dinner, and then like they went to it after that. And apparently it got rained out, so they had to go the next day again.
Oh, that sucks.
We got pretty lucky with the rain. It was like every time we would like leave a little early to like beat the crowds, because like because Magic Kingdom is where they do the fireworks, and so like everybody crowds around and they leave literally all at the same time. Like that sucked. Like the walk back took like half an hour just to get to like the ferry.
Right.
Just
did you guys end up going to the show that I talked about in Animal Kingdom?
What show?
You like sat in, like there's elephants would come out and like all kinds of cool stuff. People
yeah, they have a safari.
A circle tent thing.
No, I didn't go on that, but there was a safari we went on that was like 20 minutes, and dude, they legit have like a little Africa out there. Like there's all these animals that you would only find in Africa. Like literally, you go over here and there's crocodiles, and like obviously they had like certain like the crocodiles are gonna like eat the other animals, so they have them like in their own area, but like. Yeah. You go over here and there's termite mounds, and there's like gazelles over here and zebras over here and like all this stuff, and I was like, this is really cool. There's a baby elephant. Disney has to
go over the top for sure.
Yeah.
Reputation.
So like Animal Kingdom, I think is probably like the lamest park, but at the same time like the most like some. Well, you have to understand, like a lot of the rides.
Put Animal Kingdom over Epcot or under Epcot?
Yes.
Oh,
like
Epcot was,
Animal King, like Avatar World was kind of underwhelming. Like the boat ride, like I said, was whatever. They had the VR ride, but I had to go on that by myself because like the height requirement was like 42 inches or something like that. That was pretty cool because that's like you get on the back of one of those like dragon bird things and like fly around, and it really feels like you're flying.
Oh wow!
How is it with like with COVID the way it is now? Do they do anything?
You only had to wear masks inside. Like if you went to an indoor ride, you had to put masks on. Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
And you didn't have to check. They didn't check anything. You didn't have to be like vaccinated or have a negative test. Wow.
No, like they're literally like I'd be walking around and some guy's like, and I'm like, staying the hell away. What ride is that guy going on? I'm not going on that one today.
Right. You know? See, that's what I'm worried about. Like anything you got to sit down and touch. You know, I was like,
no, they were sanitizing stuff, but.
Oh, they were okay. That's what I was curious about.
Yeah,
because I went to the hell was it? Forget what I went to before, but every ride they're wiping down everything, like constant sanitizer spray and like, I'm like, damn, that's gotta be annoying to do that all day long. Every day.
But Animal Kingdom had like that was definitely the least popular park. Like the wait times for a lot of stuff besides Avatar World was really short. And like it's the biggest park too, so it's a lot more walking than the other ones. But a lot
Animal
of the
Kingdom is,
I think it's like 500 acres. That's how big that place is.
Wow.
And like I think the next biggest park is like I think Epcot, and it's 300 acres. So like
Epcot's a lot of walking.
Dude, Epcot was badass, man, because they had the World Food and Wine Festival going on. So like literally you could like walk through and try food from around the world. It was really cool. And then like
I think when we went, a lot of the countries were like just either not open or something was going on. I can't remember what it was, but we didn't get to experience it to like the full capacity.
Yeah, but like I found myself at all the parks, I would be like, I'm probably not gonna like this ride. This is probably gonna be kind of lame, and then like it would like it would blow my expectations out of the water. Like there's the it's called like Spaceship Earth, I think. And that's where you go on this like ride through time. Like it literally shows like the first time people like started like it shows like the evolution of like writing and stuff. So like you'll start out and it's like literally people writing on like cave walls, and then it gets to the point where it's like modern times and like we have computers now and stuff. And so you go on this. It was very long. It was like a 20-minute ride, but I didn't realize because I was like, you know, it's in like I thought it was just like the golf ball is huge, right? At Epcot, the giant like golf ball thing in the middle. Yep. And like I was like, okay, we're gonna go like around the middle. I went and looked at a diagram because it's like, dude, this ride was 20 minutes long. You go in a spiral all the way up the golf ball, and then when you get to the top, you get to see like the full inside of the golf ball at the top, and it's like stars, and you can see the moon and stuff like that. It was beautiful, dude.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
It was
I never checked
so
that out when I
cool.
was there. I'll check that out.
That ride, like I just, because it was only 2 people to a cart, so like we would take turns. Like little man would go with my wife, or he'd go with me. And for that one, I was by myself, and I was just like looking around. It was so cool, man. It's a really
Imagine
cool ride.
being high on that one.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like yeah, like it would be kind of cool to like pop an edible and then like go on some stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
But then like what's it called? I feel like so Animal Kingdom was probably the most underwhelming one, but still a lot of fun because they had like the Bugs Life show thing, which is really cool. Because like they make you feel like you're getting spit on by bugs and stuff like that. Like they're blowing air. Like literally they have like the grasshopper shows up, right? And he's like why are you being friends with these humans? Like they like from the beginning of time they've tried to exterminate us, and it shows like all this like old 50s movies, like giant ants like getting shot at with like machine guns and stuff from like the old movies. And like he's like, but like it's time for you guys to get what you deserve, and like all these like fake spiders drop down from the ceiling and like right in your face, and you have glasses on so everything pops out, like, and like they had like this termite, and he was totally like pretending to be like the Terminator. He's like, I'll be back and stuff like that, but he's like target acquired, and he's like, no, don't shoot the humans. And he's like loading acid or whatever, and starts like spitting, and like they spray water at you, so you're like, everybody's like jumping like, oh, like he's spitting acid at you. There's cool stuff like that. So I would say Magic Kingdom was like the most nostalgic because it had all the old rides. Animal Kingdom was like the most underwhelming one, but still cool. Like I still had a lot of fun. I felt like there was a lot more downtime in Animal Kingdom because it was like so far between rides and stuff that you had to walk.
Right.
And not only that, I think Animal Kingdom, because I watched a bunch of history stuff while we were there, like about the parks, like out of curiosity. Animal Kingdom has a lot of rides that got like neglected, and like there was huge budget cuts. So there's a couple of rides that feel unfinished because they had to just like kind of like finish the ride like halfway through. And it's like there's a whitewater raft ride, and it is the lamest whitewater raft ride I've ever been on. There's like one splash, and then it's over. Like it's just like it's like a 2-minute ride, not even. Maybe even shorter. The Everest one was really cool because it's like the Yeti is there. You're like Mount Everest, and so like you pull up to this track, and like the track is like totally like messed up, like sticking up in the air. And you get right up to the edge of it, like you're gonna go off of it. It's like you're like, oh, and I was like, can I go at the front because I had the GoPro? And then you get to that part of the track, and then it goes in reverse, and you see the track literally switch, and then you go a different way. Shit. So I was like, that's pretty cool. And it was pretty fast. Hollywood Studios is my favorite though, because that's where like Star Wars was, and dude, Tower of Terror, like I loved the Twilight Zone growing up. Like my grandpa always used to watch it, and I would watch it with him. So like I was like, I gotta go on this, and then they wouldn't let little man on it, so I had to go by myself. But I got the GoPro, so I haven't seen any of the footage yet, because right now I've uploaded like the phone footage, so it'll be fun to see what I got, like, and what stuff turned out good and what didn't. Because that was fun, and I was scared because they're like, I was walking in, and like this guy, like I didn't know anything about the ride. I just knew it was a drop ride, and I'd never been on a drop ride. And like these 2 old ladies are like, yeah, it drops 13 stories, and I was like, 13 stories? What the hell am I going on? And like, and then like this other group in front of me is like, this other group in front of me is like, did you know that there's pulleys that actually pull you down, so you're dropping faster than gravity does? And I'm like, Jesus Christ, what am I about to go on? And literally, it pulls you down so fast that you feel like the gravity shift, and like it'll like you'll feel like you're dropping, and then it'll pull you back up, so you feel like gravity, like the G-force is crazy. But dude, I literally thought it was just gonna be like up and down. No, like you go up 13 stories. And then you go into it goes through like a lobby, and it's all Twilight Zone themed. So there's like stars everywhere, and you see like the famous intro with like Rod Serling, and he's like, you've just entered another dimension and all this stuff like that. It's so fucking cool, dude. The coolest. And what's sad is they're probably gonna get rid of it soon because they already converted the one in Disneyland to Guardians of the Galaxy, and they just issued a permit. They just issued a permit to do some big work on it. So at the one at Disney World, so I'm like, they're probably gonna get rid of it because there was no Marvel stuff there, nowhere.
Right.
Like, I was shocked. I was like, I thought there would be some Marvel stuff because they have like an Avengers campus in Disneyland.
Yeah.
But no, not one Marvel thing there. There was a lot of Star Wars, but surprisingly, I think it's the new trilogy, man. The new trilogy just killed Star Wars because there was like no hype around there. But the blue milk was good. I got the blue milk.
Right.
And
hasn't the Star Wars one been there forever though too? Now at this point,
so there's Galaxy's Edge, which is one ride, and like that has Star Tours, which is like a really old ride that they've like updated as the years go on, and then they have like a legit, like it's like a made up place just for Disney World, like a Bo-Katan or something like that, and it's there's like a full life size Millennium Falcon in the middle, and then like they have a new ride that's so new that like they literally they've had, when rides are really new, especially when they have a lot of like technical stuff to them, they always have problems. So they have a queue so that between rides they have like time to like adjust stuff. And like it's Rise of the Resistance, and I guess it kept breaking. So like we didn't get to go on it because my wife got the queue thing mixed up, and then it was like it wouldn't let us change it. So we didn't get to go on that, and then literally like the day after we went to Hollywood Studios, they got rid of the queue. Like they're like, all right, like it's not breaking down. Like after like 6 months, it's not breaking down as much anymore. So we're opening it to everybody. Like you don't have to have a queue. And there was like a 3-hour line to get on it. I was like, yeah, I would not have waited 3 hours to go on one ride. But Smuggler's Run was cool because it's like you're in the Millennium Falcon and you have to like go steal something and like bring it back. That was pretty cool, but it made us all really like nauseous because it was like it's VR, you know, but and it's very shaky and like they're like, all right, so you're a pilot. It's pointed to my wife. I guess you're a pilot, to Little Man. He's like, pilot? They're like, you're the gunner. And literally we ran into like everything. Like you can like run into stuff because they're actually like my wife did the left and right and he did like up and down. And then like literally I would hit a button and like it would start shooting and it would like lock onto stuff and shoot the
cool
stuff. Yeah. He was like up, and he's just like boom, just smacking into stuff, and like the guy who's like talking on the radio is like Jesus, like he's just hitting everything. You know, like, he's like freaking out, and like we get back and he's like going over the damage that we did, and I'm just like, God, terrible pilot, and he's like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. But yeah, that was cool. The blue milk, I had always heard people say like it didn't taste good, and so I was expecting it to be bad, and I was like, dude, I'd drink a gallon of this shit. It's so good.
Cool.
And like
I want to try butterbeer when I go to Universal.
Yeah, I want to try that too.
Harry
Yeah,
butterbeer's great. Butterbeer's actually good.
I've heard good things. Yeah,
to get there to try that.
They were like, do you want just regular the regular blue milk, or do you want the rum? And I was like, can you taste the rum? They're like, no, can't taste it at all. And I was like, oh hell yeah, give me the rum. And I was like, I had a little buzz, and I was like, dude, this stuff is so good. My wife hated it because it has like coconut in it or something like that. She can't stand coconut. But they had green milk too, but like that was like a more tropical thing, and all I thought of was like tropical rain G Fuel, and I was like, I probably won't like that. So but the blue milk, and it was like, I don't remember there being green milk in Star Wars. You know, I'll go with the blue milk. But yeah, that was good. I debated. I was like, I want to go back and get another one. I was like, literally gonna walk across the park just to get that blue milk again.
Hell yeah.
There was a queue to build a lightsaber, so we didn't do that. And everybody was like, "You gotta build Little Man a lightsaber." And I was like, "Dude, first of all, I'm not paying $150 to build something that you can like get at Walmart. Basically, like it's plastic. It's all cheap plastic. And like he's at that age where he doesn't even know what he's doing, you know." And I was like, and not only that, like the queue system, it's like you got to like be there at a certain time, and then so you're stressed out about, you know, should we go on a ride or not? Because then, you know, we might have to wait in line and then miss our queue, and we just didn't do that. And like again, like I said, it just wasn't worth the $150 to me. And like any of the really nice lightsabers that are like $250, and like for display, you can get those online. So Yeah, but I never like. I've always liked Star Wars, but I've never nerded out to the point where it's like I want to start collecting memorabilia. So
Yeah,
I didn't really care. But yeah, like it was weird, man. Star Wars Land, like that area of the park, just felt depressing. Like people just weren't enthusiastic about it, and literally, it's like a huge section of the park. Toy Story Land was dope, dude. Toy Story Land was sick because the whole park looks like you're literally like the size of toys. So like they have giant like blocks and all kinds of stuff. Like the fence around the whole thing that like guides you everywhere and stuff is Tinker Toys, like full size Tinker Toys. So that's cool.
Hell yeah.
We went on like this Toy Story Mania one where it's like a bunch of carnival games and like you get a score at the end for like shooting the targets. And like you have the way that it works is you pull this little like string, almost like it's like a string on the back of like a action figure, and like you let go and it like shoots back, and like that's how it measures like how you're shooting the projectiles. Like if it's a dart game, it'll shoot darts. If it's like you're knocking stuff over, it's like a ball. Different things like that. And I was next to Little Man for that one, and he was just like not getting how that worked. He was just like letting it go and then like confused and grab it, and his score was terrible. I was like I win, and he's like no, I win, and I was like you don't even know how to play. I'm like arguing with him. Yeah, but he was just like looking around, like he got distracted while he was playing, like looking around at all the stuff going on because it's crazy, dude. Yeah, that's a VR. That's like that's a 3D one where you put the glasses on, and so like it's cool. And the cart is like constantly spinning around and stuff. And then they I guess it's new. They have a Slinky Dog roller coaster where it's literally like the Slinky Dog is the coaster. That was I was like, dude, that's actually pretty fast for a kid's roller coaster. It says a roller coaster for the whole family. And so like when I went on it, I was like actually pretty impressed. It was a lot of fun. Like that was a solid roller coaster. And I didn't think that, one of the nicer roller coasters or the more fun roller coasters was going to be in Toy Story Land, So that was pretty dope. But yeah, the Hollywood Studios is cool. And then Epcot. I like Epcot because it's all science and like technology based, Like they have that test track ride that you go and design. I think it's like sponsored by Chevrolet. And it's like you go in and you design a supercar, and it has all the different categories like power and efficiency and stuff like that. So we design our own car, and it looks ridiculous. You know what I mean? It looks like a Lamborghini married with like some weird ass car. But like I set it up to make sure that it gave us like full power, so we would go full speed on the ride, And then you go on this test track, and it's literally like you're sitting in a car, and it's going like 65 miles an hour and like going around turns and shit. It was so cool, dude. That was one of the coolest things we did too. And then there's like there's a flight around the world, or soaring around the world is the name of the ride, and it's very similar to the Avatar VR one, where like they put you in this thing that makes you feel like you're flying, but like
soaring. Yeah.
So like it moves you up and down, but since you're like staring at a screen that's like right in front of you, it looks and feels like you're flying. And like I like it was fun, but at the same time I was like, I don't know what this ride's gonna do. And every time we got close to something, it would like do something to make you jump. Like a whale would pop out of the water, or like it would as soon as like it showed the Eiffel Tower, I was like, we're going to the top, and it starts shooting us up to the top, and like it looks like we're gonna hit the top of the Eiffel Tower, and then it just like jets around, and you're like, oh, it's like it was really cool. It really made you feel like you were flying.
So it was the whole world? It was like around the whole world?
So the one at Disneyland's like soaring around California, right? Like it goes through California. Yeah, this one was the whole world. So like it took us to Egypt, and it looked like we were gonna hit a pyramid, and then it took us to like Antarctica, and there's like a freaking polar bear popping out, and like all kinds of stuff.
Dude, I want to see that one.
It's badass. It was really badass.
California one was fine, but it was a little like a little indulgent upon itself.
Yeah, that was pretty sick. But it would definitely be interesting to go again in like 5 years, because they're getting ready to change a ton of stuff.
Right.
And like I was watching some of like the GoPro footage that people got on like the Universal Studio rides, and like there's a couple that seem cool, but it just seems like Disney has a certain feel to it where it's like really trying to make you feel like you're in this world that has been created by these movies. Whereas Universal, it's like Fast and the Furious, the ride. It's like, yeah. So I don't know, and like I love The Mummy, and so like when I saw that The Mummy is still a ride there, I was like, oh, that's badass. And then I watched the thing, and it's like it's kind of cheesy. Like it's cool, but like it just doesn't feel like it feels like a B movie version of The Mummy that you're going through. Like they didn't get the original voice actors or anything. So, but I'll definitely go to Universal at some point. I think the Transformers ride would be pretty badass.
Universal is
Stuff
dope.
like that.
I definitely want to check it out.
And like seeing all the movie sets, like if you go to the one in Hollywood, they actually take you behind the scenes and like you see like sets and stuff. They have a tour, and like people are like making movies back there on the Universal lot because it's on the Universal lot. Whereas like the one in Florida is like a legit theme park by itself. Like there's no filming going on there. So it's cool how they both have like their own experience.
Yeah. No. Hell yeah.
Hey Jeannie, what'd you do this past week?
What'd you do with your break?
I was in New York shooting a music video for Aliana Lohan, which was really fun.
Lindsay Lohan's little sister, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So my main like fun part of that was, so we were shooting in a school, and I really like those lick TikToks. So I always wanted to make one. And so we're location scouting. We're like scouting this area, and this, very kind, it was a Greek school. It was like a Greek Eastern Orthodox school, like a Catholic Eastern Orthodox. And this very kind Greek lady is like, okay, this is the computer room. And everyone else is like, oh, this is nice. And I'm just thinking to myself, we had to shoot in a bathroom. One of them was a bathroom. So we're like looking at all their bathrooms, the girls and boys one. And I see in the girls' bathroom, one of them is missing a door on the stall. And the toilet seat is unhinged. Like you can just pick up the toilet seat. So I was like, wait a second. Hold on.
I gotta hit a devious link.
I gotta make this TikTok real quick. And so I waited for everyone to go off. I'm like, I'll be right back. I gotta use the bathroom.
Like, and you're like trying to rip the thing.
So I go in the thing. I didn't like break it or anything. It was already broken. So I just like picked it up and made it look like it was broken. So I was just like, I went in, showed it was a girl's bathroom, took the toilet seat and like ran off.
For a TikTok or Instagram?
For a TikTok, yeah.
Did you post
it? It got taken down in 2 hours.
That's so stupid, man. Like, I guess they're cracking down because it's gotten out of control. It's like making national news.
Yeah, I got like a warning too, where it was like, if you post something that will get banned, we might permanently ban your account or something. I was like, oh shit.
You're like, oh, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
What was the TikTok exactly? I guess I've missed this trend.
I'll have to send it.
There's a trend, and they call it devious, like a devious lick, and it's literally like. It's literally like you're stealing something from a school. Like there's videos. I've seen videos on the news. I saw videos on TikTok where people are like, this shit is getting out of control. And like this guy, like he's like showing this bathroom and the urinal's ripped off. The sinks are broken. There's like water spraying out of the sink. This guy's like literally trying to take a shit and the stall doors are broken. Like the walls are falling down. Like trash is everywhere. The hand dryers are like hanging off. Like it's literally just like, check it out, I'm destroying school property.
That's really
and it's a trend.
It's like fucked up.
Really
it's like Tide Pod level stupid.
Yeah.
It's stupid. I wouldn't have never broken or stolen it. I was just kind of like making fun of it. But the next day, so I get it taken down, right? And that was when we were scouting the place. So then we went back 2 days later to actually shoot, and we see in this hallway, you know how like people, like teachers will like put like coverings on their doors. So there was this one that said, there are learners among us, and it's got like the fucking Among Us guys all over it. And we have this very grand shot in the hallway where like it's like a wide, and I'm like falling back, and I'm like, on a steady cam, and you can very clearly see on the door on the side, and it's gonna be in the music video. And I told them, I was like, guys, we can't have this. There are learners among us in this video. Like, that's, people are gonna like, do you know how violent of a meme that is? Like, do you know how aggressive? And they're like, I don't know what Among Us is. You're overreacting. Who cares? And I was like, fuck, okay.
Like, this motherfucker's sus. No, just like
yeah. I was like, that's awfully sus. So I was like, okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do a yield TikTok where like there's a whole other trend called an angelic yield, where you like put something in the bathroom, or like you put the soap
angelic yield. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, so there's like one where like people are like putting like a whole TV and a mini fridge and like snacks in the bathroom. Like, it's incredible. I was like, I pretended like I put this Among Us thing, and that didn't get taken down. So I just like put down. I sent it in the chat for this, but like, there's like this whole door that's like an Among Us. It's so
dude, but like the news stuff that I've seen where they're like talking about it, like this, like there is a new TikTok trend that is causing students to deface public school property or whatever, and it's like,
oh yeah,
it just shows this guy like, I gotta take a shit, man, this is broken, and like there's literally like at this school, it's like one of those like one of those stores at the mall where they have like this like metal like fence gate that comes down, and it just has a sign that says due to students destroying the bathroom, like it's temporarily closed or whatever. Like he's like, I gotta go to the bathroom, and like he can't because it's closed. They literally locked the bathroom down because people were destroying it.
It's
but
so
dude,
sad.
It's ridiculous, man. Like I literally saw like poop on the walls, and like there's freaking like a clogged toilet and like all kinds of stuff. Like just people just doing whatever they can to get like a ridiculous TikTok video of them like doing some degenerate stuff to a school bathroom. Literally posting evidence of destroying public property or private property, whatever you call it at a school. Is the school private property? That's private property, right?
Yeah. Especially if it's a private school, so that's.
But yeah, that has got to be one of the dumbest things I've seen this year, trend wise. It's definitely one of the worst ones.
That would definitely be up there for me, for sure.
And like, you would never think something like that would become a trend, you know, like just destroying shit.
Something happened like between. It was like something happened over the pandemic where it's like, you know, all the kids were over Zoom, and like Zoom bombing was like a big thing.
Yeah.
Like, you know, break the Zooms.
Dude.
There's something about like pranks now, I think, or like.
The court ones are the funniest. Have you seen the ones where like somebody's having like a Zoom court hearing and somebody will just come in and he's like, bro, your name is not like buttfucker 627 or whatever. He's like, why'd you put that? He's like, I didn't put that. He's like playing dumb. How do I change it? And the guy's just like, dude, like the judge is like, come on, dude.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Funny as well.
Or like I saw one where did you see the guy? And apparently there's like this long backstory to this guy. He was like a reporter or something like that, but he dressed up as the Joker and he was going on like chat roulette, and like he would like say some kind of riddle, and then he would say like, because he was like, and I hate, and then the N-word, right? And it's always like an African-American person or something like that. And like the TikTok ends, right? Super messed up, but like obviously he's doing it in like a comedic sense. But I guess he got arrested for something. And so he's like in his court hearing, and this guy like Zoom bombs them and just starts saying like the N-word. And the lawyer is like all confused, like, what the hell is going on? And the judge is like, who is that? And he's just like, I believe it's so-and-so. Like he's an online streamer that I know. I think he's trying to make a spectacle of this and that, you know. He's like in handcuffs, like standing there, and this guy's just like, dude, yeah.
I mean, rightfully so, though. That's
like, but it's ridiculous. Like I mean, it makes sense that, you know, if we move to like Zoom call stuff, that like somebody's gonna take advantage of that to like make a joke out of it. So. But yeah, the court hearing ones have been the funniest to me because it's like somebody coming in and just doing something ridiculous, you know. Like somebody like coming into a Zoom call and like playing like a chick moaning or something like that, and he's like, turn it off, like the judge. Who the hell is that?
Oh, it's always a good one. They're always good ones.
But yeah, now that vacation's over, it's just like catching up. Yeah, Kyle knows about this. We got lots of G Fuel videos we're working on.
Yeah, he came back to 8 boxes or something like that.
Yeah, 7 flavors. Seven new flavors to review.
And a new PC.
And a new PC, which took me like a day to like set up to where I could like use it like I normally do. Which reminds me, my I think my stream notifications are still messed up, so I need to go fix those. Like they don't make sound. I gotta fix that. But yeah, I don't know.
Have you guys been having any shortages where you're at?
My wife said there was no toilet paper at Costco yesterday.
Shortages. Oh wow.
There's something going on that everybody should probably be aware about.
You got the inside scoop?
It's from something that I seen posted the other day, aka yesterday. There's a bunch of cargo ships that are not being able to get into California, and they're literally being anchored offshore. And last I knew, there were 72 cargo ships not being let in.
Why can't they get in?
California.
Like, why can't they get in?
From the article, what they said, and it gets a little conspiracy theory-ish. That's why I'm like not 100% sold on everything yet. But with this country, the way it's going, I don't know. I'm prepared for anything at this point.
Is it China? Like, is it something specific?
No, it's our own government in our country that is wanting to make everybody freak out again because it instills fear in everybody, and they want to make it seem like we have a shortage in that. So there's all these cargo ships out in California, apparently. Mind you, I'm not saying this is fact. This is just what
Jeannie, go look outside. Do you see cargo ships?
Right.
Oh, fuck!
God damn!
So supposedly there's a bunch of cargo ships that can't get into California, and that's why everything's starting to experience shortages. And everywhere that is, the people are essentially trained to make it look like their shelves are stocked, but they're not really fully stocked. So that way it doesn't instill fear in everybody yet. But
what?
Yeah.
Bro,
Yeah.
but like it doesn't make any sense because they're saying like, oh, if COVID recovery continues to go the way it is, everything's gonna be back to normal by the end of the year or something like that. And then
I don't know.
Like it just doesn't make sense to me. Like, what the hell are we doing, man?
Yeah, I'm trying to find the photos here. Give me 1 second.
You know what's interesting? I do have something I want to talk about real quick because it was a heavy topic like back in the early days of this podcast. Do you remember those videos? There was like UFO videos that the Pentagon declassified and said like we don't know what these are.
Yeah.
So I watched a video. There's a channel called Corridor Crew on YouTube, and they like break down special effects in movies and stuff. And they recreated that footage and like broke down what they think it was. And like I'm like 99% convinced that those aren't UFOs now. They're just like a bird or like a plane with like it's like there was one video where it's like night vision, somebody literally like putting their phone up to night vision goggles, and it looks like the camera is causing this effect. It makes it look like a UFO instead of just like a normal plane, you know? So like there's all this stuff that like when I saw it, I was like, oh dude, that's it. Like how's nobody talking about this? Like there's proof of UFOs right there. But after watching them break that down, I was like, I'm surprised more people aren't talking about how it's just, you know, like it almost seems like it shouldn't be newsworthy, you know, because it's just like obviously like an optical illusion. It's human error. Even the pilot radar stuff, it had to do with the way that the camera works and like tracking it, and the fact that like at the speed that they're going, like a bird would look like it's moving fast, but it's not. You know, it's a camera optical illusion. It just makes something look like it's doing something that it's not. But you got to understand that these planes are flying like super fast, and if this bird is flying in the opposite direction, it's gonna look like it's coming fast towards them, but it's really them coming fast towards it. But like on camera, it looks like the thing is moving hella fast, you know. But also the camera's the FLIR camera's trying to track it, so like it makes the water look like it's moving really fast too, because it's trying to keep up with it, and it's like focusing in and stuff. And really interesting video, but also made me kind of disappointed. I wanted those videos to be real.
Right. So I found the picture, and basically it's like, so just as of Monday, September 20th, 2021, there are now over 60 cargo freighters that are anchored off the coast of California from Oakland to Long Beach in what can only be described as a manufactured supply chain halt that will result in food and product shortages and supply disruption nationwide in the coming weeks and months. Grocery stores are already complaining and showing their stockers how to make the shelves look fuller as to not cause panic. A local long-haul truck company driver that travels the continental 48 states on a weekly basis has personally seen Chicago freight yards backed up at least 3 weeks in a row, now with hardly any movement at all, while more and more containers are stacking up without any logical explanation. And the question to ask yourself is why? Why would our government do such with supplies that small businesses do such things with supplies that's... Fuck. No, he just typed it out wrong. Why would our government do such things that supply small businesses, manufacturers, and American citizens with supplies that they may need to survive in one way or another? And it's probably they said it's probably a good idea to stock up for the next, enough to keep you good for a couple weeks or months, because it doesn't look like it's holding up or lessening up anytime soon.
It's the damn lizard people, man. They're trying to make us panic.
Yeah.
So they could put microchips in our skin.
They always try to run with fear in this country, so I don't know. It's kind of been a thing for the news and everything during this whole COVID thing.
When COVID was first starting out, man, like the grocery stores were ridiculous, man. It literally felt like the world was ending.
I literally had to have my friends send me toilet paper from Kansas because I couldn't get any in Maryland.
Dude, all it makes me think is like if we had you remember SARS, right? Like where it just kind of disappeared. That had like a 20% mortality rate or something like that. This has like a 2% mortality rate or something like that. So maybe not even
all these other things that have come and gone just in our lifetime. Swine flu.
Just
H1N1,
imagine,
bird
dude.
flu.
You see how COVID has caused like all the panic and stuff like that. Like literally the poor people are fighting over toilet paper in the stores, getting into fights over a pack of toilet paper. If this had been something that literally would have killed like 20% of the population, we would be fucked. There would be murder and mayhem in the streets. The government wouldn't be able to control it. There would be mass panic. People would be stuck trying to get home from places, and like it would have it literally would have probably the panic would have caused more damage than the virus.
Well, there was definitely panic where I was in Maryland. I mean, you go into the stores.
San Francisco,
I went to so many stores and couldn't find anything.
San Francisco was
find bread for a long time.
When I was there, it was the first city to go into lockdown. And like it literally went from like one day bumper to bumper traffic to the next day I'm driving to work and like I'm like one of the 10 cars on the road.
Wow.
It was crazy, dude. It did not feel real.
It was the end of the world too, though. Like there was
because that early on,
so many people were like, "Oh man, do we not go outside at all?" Like,
well, because they didn't know how easily it spread and all this stuff. The mortality rate was up in the air. I mean, the footage coming out of China, which I'm still shocked that people didn't talk about it more, dude. They were welding people's doors shut in China to keep them from coming outside.
Oh yeah.
There's kids that literally starved to death because their parents were not home when they welded these doors shut and they couldn't fend for themselves. They had drones going down the street, following people, telling them to go back inside. They were spraying the streets down like it was a freaking zombie movie. Like I saw there was this vlogger that I was watching early on, and he was really causing me to panic. He's some kind of press guy, so he was able to get around while other people wouldn't. And literally checkpoints, they would check your temperature and stuff like that. And he saw some guy his temperature was too high, and they just ripped him out of his car and threw him in a tent and stuff like that. And it over there in China, it was 100 times scarier than here. But I mean, that's a communist country for you. They're gonna take things to the extreme for sure, because that's what they do. They control everything. And when I saw that, I was like, dude, if that gets over here, it's gonna be the opposite. We're not gonna know how to control it, and it's gonna be panic and mayhem. And sure enough, next thing you know, me and my buddy are going to the store trying to get food, and literally all we could get was I mean, dude, the food we were getting was ridiculous. It was Kraft mac and cheese, that was the only thing we could find pasta wise, and It was funny because I was like, like nobody wants like the healthy organic whole wheat noodles, so I grabbed those, like I was like, that's where the way I eat pays off, because I like all the healthy shit, and everybody was like, I'm gonna stock up on Tostino pizza rolls for the next 3 months, but then we came home.
Have you guys been able to get chicken where you're at?
Yeah.
Have you had any chicken shortages?
Like I said, the only shortage we've noticed here is toilet paper.
Yeah,
but
I've been having a struggle trying to get
if we run out of toilet paper, I'm gonna have to start using little man's t-shirts. Can you imagine?
Genie's face.
I gotta keep up my public appearances.
Oh
no. Can't use my t-shirts. I'm gonna use my wife's Cheeto sweatpants to wipe my butt.
There you go. Boom. There you go. That's one way to get rid of them.
Dude, have you seen those TikToks? Where like it's like, I'm sorry, little one, and the guy like picks up his cat to wipe his ass because there's no toilet paper left.
Yeah. In the beginning, did you see some of the people were like?
He acts like he's like actually going to wipe his ass, with the cat, and he's got like a single tear coming down. Like he feels so bad, but he's like, I gotta do it.
Yeah. There was the ones too where they were using toilet paper as currency. They're like the year's 2022 or whatever. And they were like dishing out pieces of toilet paper as currency. Oh, that shit was funny.
You guys? Do either of you guys pay attention to crypto at all?
A little bit,
it's like checking here and there, just like as much as like the chart at face value kind of thing. But
so
in Shiba because it's on Coinbase.
Yeah, a lot of people saw what happened recently as like a bad sign for crypto, but I saw it as a good sign, because what happened was China literally said it is illegal to use crypto now. Like you can't use it, because their issue is they can't control it, because like it literally allows you to be able to buy stuff anonymously. It's not, you can't track it. You can see the transactions, but you can't see who's doing them. Like you can see like, oh, somebody like transferred this much crypto to somebody, but we don't know who it is.
And it can't be taxed either.
No, well, yeah, well, like we figured it out here, because now they're just taxing it like it's a stock, like it's a that's how they do it here now. Like they treat it like stocks. So there's long-term and short-term capital gains tax on it. But
you guys hear what they did with 1099 people now?
What?
No.
So it used to be if you didn't make anything over $20,000, you didn't have to report it. So like when I was doing Uber and that, I didn't have to report that stuff unless I made over 20,000.
Yeah.
Now it's anything over 600, and they're saying that come next year, with what Biden just signed into office or whatever, is that all Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, and all those type of sites or whatever, or apps, all those transactions are going to be taxable now.
I didn't hear it was going to be taxable. I just heard it had to be reported, because they're trying to track stuff better to
the
prevent
one thing
less
that I
audits.
read said it was going to be taxable, and I'm like, well, hold on, this doesn't make any sense, because the money that we're using in Cash App, Venmo, PayPal comes from our bank accounts, which unless you have your own business or you have an LLC or some other way that you have to report your own taxes, if you're normal W-2 employee, that's already taxed income.
Right.
Yeah.
It's already taken out. So if you were to send $20 to your buddy for gas, you're going to tax me for that transaction?
Yeah.
But it's already taxed income.
That's why I just, dude,
So
I just,
none of this shit makes sense anymore.
like, I want to be, I mean, this is getting deep. I want to be an actor, or I am an actor. I got to stop saying I want to be, because I am. That's the way I should treat it, right, Jeannie? I am an actor. I want to act, because like to me it just seems like one of the like ultimate ways to express yourself, right? Like creatively. Like you can literally make a character something, like you could play a character unlike anybody else. Nobody will be able to play that character exactly how you did. And if they do, there was a guy in my class who did like the Braveheart speech for his like little mock audition thing. And it was really hard to not see like, oh, well, Mel Gibson did it better. You know what I mean? Like, it's just really hard. So like there's certain circumstances where you'll always be compared to whoever did this part or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to like newer stuff, indie stuff, things that have not been done before, nobody else is going to do what you did. Like that's your baby. Like, and like you can be recognized for that. You could do it well enough that they can nominate you for an award for doing it, and then like all of a sudden you get more work because people are like, God damn, you did a good job, you know? And like, to me, it's just like, I got into content creation at first because it was like, I need to do something to support my family. But then it was like, I love this so much that I don't want to do anything else but like make content. And then I was like, wait, acting is a form of content. Like movies are content. Like, and I was like, well, why am I limiting myself when like I've always wanted to do movie stuff? But then like, it's like when content creation is stressful for me because I feel like I have to do it because it takes a lot to make money doing it. Like it's a lot of work to like, you make as much as you put in. But when it comes to acting, it's like you get like I've seen I think it was like the kid who played Carl on The Walking Dead. He streams, right? He was like, "Hey guys, I'm sorry to tell you, but like I won't be streaming and stuff like that because I have to go do a shoot and it's going to be 3 months. So I'm not going to stream for 3 months." Yep. And like I don't know if I'll ever do. I mean, I can't say because there might be something that I'm like, this is big. I need to put all my heart into this. I can't do anything else but this right now. But like the cool thing is like, you know, once you're in the union, like what is it, Jeannie? Like the minimum is like $1,000 a day or something like that.
It depends on the budget of the
depends on the budget, but like I think the standard out here is like 1,000 a day or like 3,500 a week or something like that. So it's like once you get to the point where you're like you can go do like a shoot for like, I don't know, an indie film or something like that. It's like, you know, I don't know how long do indie films take? Anywhere from like 3 to like maybe a little over a month. Usually those shoots are shorter, right? Like it depends on the scale of it and stuff. Like I've heard of
feature or like
yeah, like I've always been like blown away when they're like, oh, this movie was filmed in like 12 days, and I'm like, what the fuck? You know?
Sometimes like that's like really intense situation.
But it's like you got to think about it like those are 12 days where it's like you literally devote like your whole day to like, you know, playing like, to becoming this character, but you get paid pretty good to do it. So it's like I can't wait to do it because like I'm going to class and doing these little scenes and stuff like that. Like I'm just falling in love with like what you can do with that and how you can express it and how you can take feedback and like use it to learn better skills of doing it and make it more believable and stuff like that. But it's like not only that, if I can do that, which I love doing, but also get paid pretty good to do it, it's like then like my financial like worry is like you could definitely like go do like one big shoot and then be like set for like the next like 4 or 5 months. Like you don't even have to do anything, you know? So it's like, I can't wait to be able to just be like none of this is because I have to do it. It's because everything is just because I want to. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like right now it's like, I feel like I have to make content. I feel like I have to, because if I don't, my savings will eventually run out. But it's like, once I can start acting, and I know it might take 100 auditions before I get like one line, a little one-line scene. You know, like I know that's a lot of rejection, but the fact that I could do what I'm doing in those classes and then like get paid pretty well to do it is like, I'll be living the dream, dude.
Great idea.
You know? And I'm like, imagine if you like, because somebody's like, oh, he's gonna be like in the next Marvel movie. It's like, dude, if you do that, like you're set for life, dude. You could get paid so much to do like a character in a Marvel movie. It's crazy. Yep. I mean, like you see, like the first time Chris Evans played a character, he got like $500,000. You know, whereas like Robert Downey Jr., like the second Iron Man, he got paid like $1 million or something like that. Like how it goes up as like your worth goes up, you know, as an actor. So it's like, dude, that's crazy. Yeah. $500,000. If you take half of that and put it into crypto, you're set for life.
Mm-hmm.
Set for life. Just set it and forget it.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And then literally like, and that's the other thing is like, people are like, what's the key to happiness? And I'm like, I think the key to happiness is being in charge of your own time. You know, like literally you can
financially free.
Yeah. Not even that, dude.
Which is
not
even that. Goes hand in hand, though. That goes
I agree.
Hand
yeah, those two things I think together.
Family, your friends and family are taken care of. Like, dude, there's no stress. If you don't have to worry about money, a place to live, bills, anything like that, I don't know how it gets any better. Yeah. I would totally, anybody that says money doesn't buy happiness, I'm just like, dude, there's no way. Like, you have no idea what you're talking about then. Yeah. But like, literally, money is the root of all my problems. There's like, when I was in the military, I made like $75,000 a year or something like that in San Francisco.
but a big chunk of that went to rent. But still, I was banking a lot of money. As a single guy making $75,000, I was pretty comfortable. You know?
Yeah, I've been there. Yep.
So I think as a you know as a man with a wife and kid, like probably like double that, and you'd probably that would be comfortable with a family. I think so. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna get into specifics, but like, what I made this year is like, I don't know, maybe like somewhere around 100K probably, which is enough, but it's like it's not enough to like not stress about the future, you know?
Exactly.
So it's like once acting becomes like my main thing, and then the content creation and stuff like that is my side hustle, because a lot of being an actor is, auditioning and waiting for that one role, and then all of a sudden for a month you're busy as hell. Then after that it's back to auditioning for shit, and hopefully you do it well enough that people see your work and are like, hey, they start coming to you for hey, I want you to audition for this. I think you'd be good for it. So it's like you got to get to that point, and a lot of people never do. That's the other thing. I understand that a lot of people. Like I get so many comments. Just give up, dude. You're not gonna be an actor. Oh, yeah. You'll never be in anything worth watching. This and that. And I don't argue with them, but like I'm like, that is exactly what they told me about being a streamer and a content creator. Oh, you'll never be a successful streamer. You'll never make Twitch partner.
Those people that say that shit are the people that don't have it within themselves to do anything with their lives. So they have to never get sponsored by G Fuel. I remember when they were saying that. Yeah, now you work for them.
Yeah, now I literally work for them. Yeah, so it's like, like this whole last year, like this last year and a half, has not only told me like that, like I'm the one setting my own limitation to what I can do.
100%.
But that's everybody's case, man. You just have to find something that you have to find something that you're passionate enough about that you will literally like lose sleep and sacrifice things that you want to do to obtain it.
Yep.
But like I also think that there's
they're working harder than you. So
there's I think it's the 10,000 hour rule. Does that sound like something, Jeannie? Like if you do
10,000 hour,
it's like if you do something for 10,000 hours, like you'll get good at it. That's what I think. That's something that I've heard. They're like if you do something for 10, you could be dog shit at something, Yeah. But if you do it for 10,000 hours, you could be like better than average.
I see.
There's physical limitations, but at the same time, I mean, I see these guys who literally have no legs, and they're like freaking running races on their hands and beating people who run on their feet. And I'm like, how is that possible? I might be exaggerating there, but you get what I mean. Like they have a physical disability, and they're still able to achieve what some people would consider impossible. Mm-hmm. So like, it's crazy, man. Like I always tell people, like, don't ever let somebody tell you can't do something.
Nope.
Absolutely.
And like the other thing is like I joked with my mom because I was like, yeah, like because I answered this one guy who was like, get a refund for your acting classes, like you're terrible, and then I like posted my self-tape audition that I did, and like there was nothing but positive comments, and there was a couple anonymous accounts that were like, you suck, like give up, and like I'm gonna remember the guy who said that, and like if when I make it as an actor to the point where like I'm on like a talk show for 2 seconds, I'm just gonna be like, oh yeah, and like fart smeller 67. What's going on, homie? Like,
yeah.
Like, but yeah, like it's just like it when I see comments like that, like I've seen those negative comments for so long now. It's like I'll just like let my work speak for itself, But it's like It's right now it's frustrating because it's like I have to get headshots and like type up my resume to even be able to audition, and I'm still waiting on a call back about my headshots. So it's like I'm kind of in limbo right now. But at the same time, I'm taking all these. I've got I've got 2 current acting classes going on, and I got one more that hasn't started yet. It's only like a weekend. It's like a little workshop thing, but it still goes on my resume.
Right.
This year alone, and then next year it's going to be a lot of like shorter like 4-week or 8-week classes, I think. But I mean, literally that's all I can do while I wait is just keep learning the craft, And I mean, like I also know that like filmmaking altogether, doesn't matter what you do, like I mean, even hopefully nobody's being a production assistant for the rest of their life, but like you can be very good at something, you know, if you keep practicing it. It's like it's the same thing with, you know, being a cinematographer. It's like it's a lifelong pursuit, you know. The learning never stops. So I mean I picture myself taking acting classes for the rest of my life. So
that's really
that
cool,
too.
actually. I really like that mindset.
And like Kyle, like with I don't know how passionate you are about editing, but like some of the stuff that I see, I'm like, damn, dude, I wonder if Kyle could do that. You know? And like it makes me wonder.
Like there's so many things I want to get better at, but it's just like I don't know,
it's
like
daunting.
doing like special effects and stuff. It's like, man, it just I just know how much time that takes in this. And doing editing isn't something I plan to have as like my full-time job, because I like doing content creating and stuff like that too. Like at the end of the day, I would rather be able to do that and travel and vlog and do all that stuff versus editing myself, you know. But right now this helps me pay the bills, and I get to focus on what I want to do, because it takes some time to edit Danny's videos, but like I get to be home. I get to work on other stuff while I edit his videos, or while I'm waiting for footage or whatever. I can work on other things that I want to do, side hustles, whatever. Yeah. And I don't really have, I mean, technically you could quote unquote be my boss, but like I really, at the end of the day, nobody's telling me what to do.
No, I see us more as coworkers.
Exactly.
That's the way I look at it. I just happen to be the one that's like keeping you be able to do it, you know?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
That's cool.
So, trust me.
I mean, it's nice to be unable to work on everything else.
Don't worry, Kyle. I told my wife, I was like, I'll sell my car before I have to stop paying Kyle. Because like I can't at this point I can't not have an editor. Like, I literally could not do YouTube. Like, it would be like one video every 2 weeks if I didn't have you to help.
It's a lot, dude.
Oh man.
Because TikTok is a lot, man. Like there's days where I'm sitting there and I can't think of an idea, damn it. You know, like I'll just be sitting there.
Everything's been done is what it seems too. And you're like, man, how do I like, if you're trying to do TikTok and like be different instead of like hopping on all the trends.
There's endless possibilities. Man, it's just that there's days where it's like, I just, my brain just doesn't want to like do the work to come up with it. And then like literally like my cat will like meow or something like that and I'll get an idea. You know what I mean? Like it just all of a sudden comes to me.
Something will click.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Or like there was one day where I was like, dude, like I have not posted a TikTok yet. It's like 2 PM. I don't know what to do. And like I'm literally like sorry for the TMI. I'm literally taking a shit. And the cat starts pawing from underneath the door, like sticking his paw under and like trying to get in and like meowing, like let me in. I don't know what it is with cats, but they like to like follow you into the bathroom. And so I made a TikTok where I'm like, help! Like he's trying to get, you know, like I'm like freaking out. It's like, please help me! I'm just trying to take a dumper, you know. Like I'm just like, and the cat's like, and I put like 28 days later music. It's like all like a zombie fucking thing,
and stuff.
Like literally, like it'll just happen. You can't force it. That's another thing. When it comes to creativity, you can't force it. That's honestly, besides like the stress relief and stuff like that I think comes, at least benefits me when it comes to marijuana. It gets me thinking, dude. Literally, I can turn any idea to something. I feel like the question is, it's like, all right, when this marijuana wears off, is it still gonna make sense? You know, like, because I'll come out with this elaborate thing, like I'll go ahead and say it. I have this. You remember when I did the flavor bomb can thing, where it was like a skit, and then G Phil ended up using it. I came up with an idea, and like you know when like you're about to go to sleep and like your brain is just wandering.
Literally every night.
Yeah, right. Like I'm like half asleep, and I came up with this idea. I was like, what if I do the same kind of idea where it's like I'm going to the movies to see Venom, but then like the guy says that I can't bring the can in, the Venom can, and then like it's like I'm Eddie Brock and like Venom like pops out and the guy's like look it up and the guy's like just let us in, you know, and then he's like oh fuck, you know, like, and then like we go to like the concessions and like he tells me that he wants nachos. I'm like all right, I'll take some nachos, and he's like oh we're all out, and I'm just like oh man, and then like you know Venom gets pissed or whatever, but I'm like it's like when I'm half asleep it makes sense, but then like now when I'm like full awake I'm like there's an idea there, and I think if I can execute it right it'll work, but it's like it's one of those ideas where like there's ideas where it's like they could very easily like turn into some shitty cheesy thing and it's not funny, you know, so it's like the execution is key. But I had a lot of ideas happen like that when I was smoking in California, so I want to now because it's like it just helps with ideas. You know, late at
Bring out
night.
your creative side, that's for sure.
100%, yeah. And
like people that do art, they'll come up with some random shit, and then it's an art, masterpiece. But they were high when they figured it out.
When I drink, I'm just like, I don't want to do shit. I just want to sit here and drink my beer.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, I also want to play. I never, this is gonna be blasphemy. I never finished playing Skyrim. I got super close, like 3/4 through, and I didn't finish it. But I really want to get high. I really want to get high and go on some Skyrim adventures. Play that.
Yeah, I can't remember if I ever fully beat the game. I remember I feel like I fought like the last dragon or whatever the hell it is, but I can't remember if that was like the end of the campaign or not.
Yeah.
So I've been wanting to go back and play that too, but now you got New World out, so it's been like the grind.
Yeah,
because it's cool
and
it's a fun little game.
What's it called? Just so nobody, I didn't drive. My wife dropped me off at the gym, and I was a little high still, and I felt like my workout was better too. Like I feel like it just.
They say it's better for you. Yeah, you can.
Like the mind muscle connection.
Mm-hmm.
The mind muscle connection. You can feel your muscles contracting, and you're like. You can feel exactly what you need to do when you're lifting that weight. Whereas, there's been times where I've gone to the gym and I'm just like, bro, I just did 3 sets and I don't feel like I did shit. Like I must have something was off with my form. And it's like when you're a little high, like, dude, like you just you feel like the Terminator, dude. You're just in there putting in work, dude. Everything makes everything feels like it feels good to work out that way too. I don't know what it is, man. The pump just feels good. You're like, yeah, man, I'm putting in work. Listening to Metallica.
Hell yeah!
Wait, do you really listen to that when you're working out?
I go through phases. Right now, I've been listening to a lot of metal. Dude, you know what I do? When I don't know what
gotta get Ice Nine Kills going, dude.
I do. Yeah. When I don't know what to listen to, I always look up top 10 metal songs of all time, and that'll usually lead me down a rabbit hole. Like all of a sudden I'm listening to this song by Machine Head that I've never heard of before, and I'm like, dude, why haven't I listened to this? This is so badass. I gotta show my dad this song.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
there's Ice Nine Kills. It's The Predator Becomes the Prey. That album, dude, that's all I've ever used to work out with for like the past few years, because it just gets me fucking going.
I have a hard time listening to music unless I'm driving or at the gym. It's too distracting for me. It's like I want to listen to it.
I'll do that, or if I'm working on like my Funko Pops or my rugs, I'll throw music on too.
When I was growing up, and like I had when I was 4 years old, right, and because this is one of my earliest memories, I went and saw E.T. Like they had re-released it.
God, I used to be terrified of E.T.
I saw E.T. and I went home, and I was just blown away. I was like, because I was like. When I can't remember what it was, but something clicked where I was like, somebody made this.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that kid is a real person. Like, I didn't really grasp the full concept of like being an actor or like a cinematographer or a director, stuff like that. I heard the word director and I was like, oh, I want to do that. Because that was the only thing that made sense at the time. Like, you tell people what to do when you're making a movie. But like, that was the moment where like I was like, people make movies. Like this isn't just something that just like exists. Like people make it. Like there's bad movies and good movies. And ever since then, I was obsessed with movies. And when I was in like middle school, and part of high school, I was in the school band, right? And so like I was very much intrigued by different types of music. And I always thought that movie scores, like the soundtracks and movies and just the music in movies in general, like can make or break the film altogether. So like I would be in class, like taking this hard ass final exam, listening to like Lord of the Rings soundtrack or some shit like that. It'd be all intense and shit. Like music has always been something that, it's another one of those things that makes you feel something, you know?
Oh yeah.
And so like when you're at the gym, like that can 100% make your workout better if you're listening to some good music. So
that's why I like going to concerts, though. I feel like it like just does something to my soul. I don't know how to explain it.
There's something about being there. Well, there's something about being amongst a group of other people who also love that exact band that you're listening to. The energy there, like, I mean, it's the only other way I can describe it is like when I went to church camp, and like there's like they're like singing their like hymnals and all that stuff, like the church style music. Like I've never been super religious, but there was something about being amongst those people that just it uplifted you. You know what I mean?
Of course.
And so like it's very similar to I think what you experience at a concert, where it's like you're just around happy people, Yeah. And it's
nothing else besides that moment matters.
It's good for the soul.
So focused.
It's good for the soul.
No doubt about it.
Unless it's
I travel and I do it all.
unless you show up and like the band can't, like, I've never had this happen, but like I've heard people say like, oh, like I went and saw Smashing Pumpkins and they literally broke up the next day, so the concert was shitty as hell because like they were all like pretty much like done with each other. He was like it was the worst concert ever. Like unless that happens, like because I feel like you could have the opposite effect in that fact. You would just be depressed because you'd be like, dude, I anticipated going to see one of my favorite bands and they sucked. And not only that, they broke up like literally the next day. It's like that what a shitty like couple of days right there. Like that would ruin my whole day. You know, like I mean, dude, I was really into Linkin Park growing up because of my dad. He was really into them. And when Chester passed, man, I stopped and I shed a tear, man, because I grew up listening to him.
MGK was about to go on tour with Linkin Park because they were all friends.
Yeah, I knew something was up about that last album though, man, because it had such a depressing feel to it.
Oh yeah,
something just wasn't right. And then so like I wasn't surprised when it happened, but I was like, I didn't want to believe it. I was like, seriously, dude, you're telling me this guy that I grew up listening to is never gonna make music again?
I think he passed like maybe like a week or two before the Detroit show.
Yeah, it was like right as they were going on like a big tour. Yeah.
Yeah. MGK was going to open for him, and then it was Linkin Park, and I'm like, dude, like I get to see my favorite rapper at the time.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite bands growing up as a kid, I used to listen to it with my dad all the time. Like, never had seen Linkin Park yet either. And then he passes away. I'm like, I'm never going to be able to like see them in their full potential.
Certain actors, same thing. Like when Robin Williams passed.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I cried, man. I was like, God damn, man. He made so many good movies. Like I remember
he was one of my favorites.
Growing up and watching Flubber and Bicentennial Man and all these movies. Good Will Hunting, dude. His performance in that is a tearjerker, dude. When he's talking about like when he tells him like you don't know what it's like to really love a woman, and he talks about like being on her by her side when she like dies from cancer and shit. I was like, God damn. You really feel it, yeah. He was. And it was crazy because he was also like a world-class comedian at the same time, but he could do these roles where it was like you like just wanted to like
be really serious,
wanted to give him a hug through the screen, like, God damn.
Yeah, that was a really tough one.
That was a tough one. I know it's gonna happen in the near future. Clint Eastwood, man, that guy's gonna pass, and I might have to take a day off social media when that happens. I grew up watching his stuff, and like it always blew my mind that he's like he made Unforgiven, right? That Western in the 90s at like, what, like 70 years old or something like that? Because he's 91 now. He made that movie when he was literally like at the age where some people literally just don't do anything anymore. They just like sit around all day, watch TV, and get fat. And instead, this guy's out here acting, directing, and writing a film.
Yeah.
And so, like, that's what I aspire to be. Like, if anybody's an inspiration to me, it's Clint Eastwood. I want to go out doing like the craft, like that's
Yep.
But like it also scares me because like I just watched his newest movie and it was all right, and I'm like, damn, if that's the last one, if that were to be the last one he made, that would be so unsatisfying.
Yeah.
It was just fine. Like it was very basic. It didn't make me. The Mule was really good. Did you see that where he's like a drug runner? This 89-year-old man's running drugs across the country. And his Ford F-150.
What was the name of it again?
The Mule.
The Mule.
That was a good movie.
I just watched this on the airplane. I watched Jason Statham's movie Wrath of Man.
How is that? Well, my dad said it was decent.
It was pretty decent.
The guy next to me on the plane was also watching that.
If you like that, you should watch The Gentleman. It's the same director, Guy Ritchie. Matthew McConaughey kills it in that one. That one is like I
just like Jason Statham. he's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I think he's definitely underrated. Like I think
100%.
Like the other actor that blows my mind is The Rock, because like I feel like that guy has a lot of potential. He just gets typecasted a lot, but like I feel like there's gonna be a certain point, and it could be happening now. Who knows? You know, his next movie could be like crazy good. I think there's gonna be a point where The Rock's gonna be like, you know what? I'm tired of being like the big buff action hero type guy. I want to go do something real dramatic. You know, and I think he'll do like that. Guy's made so much money. He could do whatever he could. Literally, he's got fuck you money. And
he's literally the biggest social media star. He just
he's the highest paid actor in the world, right?
He was. I don't think he is. For one certain year, he was the highest paid because he had like 4 giant ass movies come out in one year.
But across all forms of social media, he's the biggest social media person.
I think Jungle Cruise is probably the. I'm sure there's a couple other movies here and there that made me feel something that he was in, but Jungle Cruise, that one, like I was like, his performance was actually really good in that. I cared for his character in that, like big time.
Yeah.
And like for like a big action blockbuster kind of like popcorn film, like that was impressive to me. That like I cared about his character, and like I didn't want anything to happen to him, you know.
Oh yeah.
Very underrated in my opinion. I think it's like it has the potential to be like the next Pirates of the Caribbean if it gets the same praise and like stuff. We'll see. Maybe it'll gain a following. I think it's they're going for that same feel too, because it's inspired by a ride, just like, you know, Pirates of the Caribbean.
Right.
But one last, I guess, depressing thing to say. Like 4 weeks ago, I had an acting class where I had to perform a monologue in front of this guy who's literally done like 200 films, and like a couple of them were like Academy Award winning. Like he never did anything like that you would like know right away, but like he's done a lot acting wise. Like he's done a lot of shit.
Experience.
Like here, put it. I did my monologue, and he was like, "What is this from?" And I was like, he's 83 by the way, so he's very, very, very old guy that like takes his time to like think about what he wants to say. Almost like everything he was saying could be the last thing he said, you know.
Right.
He was like, "What is this from?" And I was like, "It's from Whiplash." And he stopped, and his eyes got big, and he goes, "You know, I'm good friends with J.K. Simmons." And I was like, "What?" Which is like the main guy in that movie besides Miles Teller. And then he starts going off on this, like, just hearing some stories and stuff, you know. It was like, this is so cool. Just, it wasn't just like, oh, he got to work with somebody famous. It was like, he got to, like, work with somebody that is that good at doing what he did. Like, imagine what he learned from, like, working with that guy. And, like, hearing the stories of J.K. Simmons, you know, like, when they got downtime, they'd be shooting the shit. And he'd be like, yeah, so, you know, I was, like, hanging out with Anne Hathaway at this party. It's like, the stories are crazy, you know? But unfortunately, he gave me some really good advice. And, like, it was my first time, like, performing in a monologue or an audition for, like, critical feedback like that in front of somebody. Like, he literally just sat there and watched me do it. So it was a big moment for me. And I think I tweeted about it. Like, I just did my first one, and I think it went well. He passed a couple days ago.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I think he got COVID.
The guy in your acting class?
The guy that I'm talking about, the guy who taught that class. He was 83. So.
Oh my god! Wait, is it the guy I saw on the Zoom call?
Yeah.
Holy shit!
I showed Jeannie me performing my monologue, and like the guy giving me feedback and stuff, and it was way cooler and more meaningful than I expected it to be. Because like the conversation I had with him, and in front of these people who are just watching in my class, like we're just talking to each other. Like, yeah, it was very interesting. Like I'll probably remember that forever. I think, you know.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. And then I was at Disney World, and my mom was like, "Hey, I don't know if you saw, but he passed." I was like, "Fuck."
That's so sad.
Because I was hoping to like run into him again, you know, at some point. And because he was like, he told me he's like, "Are you working in this town?" And I was like, "Not yet." He's like, "Well, you're gonna get a lot of work here." I was like, "Cool," you know. And then he's just like talking, and like it made me like feel like, you know, I'm not doing this, you know. I don't like to say like, oh, I'm good at something, but like it was like I'm on the right track, you know. It was like it was like somebody was like letting me know like you're doing what you need to do, like you're you know, you're doing it, you know, like you just got to start working, you know. And I was like, all right, I can do this, you know. And then the fact that like that was like the last class he taught, I think it's just crazy.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
Damn. It's a bummer.
Yeah, it was a huge bummer.
But it sounds like he had a pretty solid life.
Yeah, that guy, I guarantee you that guy had a lot of fun. That guy had a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. No.
Yeah. Yeah, for real. I did a TikTok a long time ago, where somebody was like, "What's your goal in life?" And I said, "My goal in life is to look back when I'm an old man and say, damn, I did some cool shit."
Yep.
You know.
That's my goal. I want people to be like, "Damn, you did all that." Like,
I know, like I hate having to explain to people like, because I just posted a TikTok where they're like, "When's the Disney vlog coming out?" I'm like, "You don't understand. I got 2 acting classes, I got 2 podcasts, I got to do all this shit. Like, I got 7 days of footage. You know, like I got all this stuff going on. I'm trying to get it out. Like, trust me, I promise, it's coming." But it's like, when I look at The Rock, like you're like, damn, dude, how does he do all that? Or like Joe Rogan. He's a comedian, UFC commentator, has one of the biggest podcasts in the world. All this stuff. It's like, and he's got a family, you know, because there's some people who they do all this shit and then they're like, I don't want to get married, I don't want to have kids. Like Leonardo DiCaprio, like that guy's been single his whole life, or not single, but like never. I don't know if he's gotten married ever. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
But it's like there's definitely people who look at like the aspect of like, there was a chick in my class, who was like, I don't want to have kids. And they're like, what? They're like, I just never want to have kids. Like, I like having my own time and all that stuff too much. And like, I've told my wife before, I was like, I don't know. Like, we've talked about having a kid and I'm like on the fence about it. Cause it's like, the biggest thing that I worry about is that I'm so focused on trying to act and all that stuff that I'll like not spend enough time and I'll miss stuff, you know?
Yep.
Like, I don't want to be like, sorry, when I was in the military, it was like, sorry, I'm missing, so-and-so's birthday because I'm deployed. And they're like, oh, well, I understand. It's not your fault. You can't control that. But when it's like, sorry, like I'm, missing my son's 2nd birthday or daughter's 2nd birthday because I decided I want to go, act on this thing that I think is going to be a stepping stone in my career. It's like, it feels selfish, and I worry about that. So, but there's actors out there who do it. They have families and shit. So I know it's possible. It's just like, I would love to talk to a big actor who has a family and does all this stuff, like The Rock. I would love to talk to The Rock and just be like, how do you do it?
Right.
How do you do all this stuff and not feel like you're the most selfish person on the planet? Because everything you're doing is for you. It feels like when you're, and that's the biggest thing I struggle with is like, I always feel like I'm doing everything for me, but acting is one of those things where it has to be selfish, So it's like, because the only way you're gonna get better at it is by doing it. By doing it, you have to go do it a lot, and it's like, nobody else is gonna tell you, hey, go audition for this. I mean, somebody might, an agent or something like that, but especially early on, nobody's gonna tell you to like what to do, and so it takes a lot of time to figure out what the hell you're doing. I'm still trying to figure it out. I don't want to play like I never want to like make people think I know what the hell I'm doing, because I don't. I'm doing this all. I'm playing it all by ear, dude. But sorry, I just went on I'm sorry, I went on a long tangent. I don't think I'll ever figure it out. To be honest, I don't think I'll ever figure it out.
That's the magic of it, is just not figuring it out.
Some sort of balance, I think.
I mean, I think someday I'll look back and be like, I mean, sometimes that happens with like sometimes I'll be like, I remember when like making Twitch partner seemed impossible. And now it's almost been like a year. And it's like, it's crazy to look back at that and be like, yeah, I achieved that. Do I think I'm a good streamer? Hell no. I think I'm a terrible streamer. And like, obviously, like, the way my audience fluctuates is a sign of that. But like, to look back and be like, I did all that is cool, but like in the moment, you're just like, you don't think about it that way. It's all relative,
Yeah.
Yep. I feel you.
Like, there was this chick in my class, and I almost said something, but I was like, I don't want to say anything, because they were going around and like, what do you do for a living? But because they're like, they always hammer and they're like, make sure you have a side gig. Like, 99% of the time you're not working as an actor. You're auditioning and getting rejected. So make sure you have something to support yourself on the side until acting can someday hopefully become what supports you. And then the side hustle is actually your side hustle. It's not, what gets you, paying the bills. So we're like going around, and I had already met this teacher. So she's just like, oh, how's your family, this and that, like, she asked about like content creation a little bit, stuff like that. But I was there a little early, so nobody else really like heard me except like one person. And then so the whole class of like 11 people, she's going around and like asking them like, what's your name? What do you do? This and that. And this one girl was like, I'm really big into TikTok. I just hit 100K followers, so I'm starting to make money doing that. And I just wanted to be like, I wanted to talk to her about it, but at the same time, I didn't want to be like, oh, well, I've got 3.4 million followers. Like I didn't want to, like, I didn't know how to have that conversation without it coming off as like
being a douche.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because I definitely don't want to like, I don't want to make an impression that like I know it all or anything like that, because I don't.
Or think you're better. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I remember when I had 100K followers. And at the time, I was like, God damn, 100,000 people clicked that plus sign. But then now at 3.4 million, it's like, when I had 100K followers, the creator fund wasn't a thing. But when my wife was at 100K followers, she was making like $3 or $4 a day in the creator fund. You know what I mean? And it was like, I was like, sometimes I make like 20, 30 times that, depending on how well my videos are doing. So it's like, for her to say that like that's part of her side hustle that's like supporting her, I was like, how? That's not like, unless you're doing ad deals, but at that size, I don't think you would be, Right. But I don't know. It's very weird.
If you got a following, you can definitely make money if you know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You got to reach out to things and get brand deals or things like do ads and whatever, because people want that audience,
Yeah. I mean, my teacher told me like to definitely start meeting filmmakers around here, because they're going to want to work with me just because I could promote stuff with my following.
Yep. Exactly. Yep.
So
that's huge.
Yeah. Just got to get there.
Yep.
Just got to keep working towards it. But yeah, I'm sorry I went on this like long tangent, like talking about myself.
Good, dude. No,
but
that's cool.
We're all friends here. I think.
Yeah.
I think talking about stuff in that personal sense just makes this our group, like a little more tight knit. Like Jeannie, I want to know what your life pursuit is and stuff. Like, I just want to go to Cheesecake Factory one time and not get diarrhea.
Dude, I would love that. I want to be able to put down Red Lobster biscuits.
Yeah.
15 in one setting. Yeah.
I want to own the Red Lobster.
When I'm like, if I ever get to a place where I'm like like I have more money than what I know what to do with, I think owning like a franchise Red Lobster. Just say
I'm not gonna lie. There's been times where I was like, damn, if I owned my own Chipotle, dude, like I would eat that. I would eat that shit every day. Oh, by the way, Kyle, I decided to not post it because it just felt out of place. But at the same time, I tried Moe's, and fuck, was I disappointed, bro.
Dude,
I was so disappointed. The chips had no flavor.
Out of your mind.
The queso tasted like store-bought queso.
Oh, you're crazy.
It tasted like store-bought queso. It literally tastes like Chipotle's queso is the same way. It's like it's a powdered queso. They add stuff to it.
And it's way too fucking spicy.
That's what you're gonna hit it on for? Because Moe's, I thought, had like a more I don't want to say a kick.
Moe's has a little kick.
Yeah, it had a little kick.
And that's what's good.
But
not everything needs to be like your fucking mouth's on fire.
I promise you, I'm not like, don't get me wrong, I love Chipotle, but I was like, all right, I told my wife, I was like, I have to approach this with an unbiased opinion. Like, I want it to be good. I want to be like, oh, you know what? He was right. Moe's is better than Chipotle. Mm-hmm. But
what did you get?
I got a burrito with what is their different rices? They have like seasoned rice,
brown seasoned and white rice.
So I got seasoned rice. I got exactly what I get at Chipotle, except seasoned rice, and they were at a steak. So I was like, well, what's this is my first time here. What's the closest thing? And they're like, oh, well, we got seasoned beef, and that fucking ruined the burrito, bro.
No, you fucked it up.
Yeah,
no,
it's not my fault. I trusted the lady there, man.
No,
I trusted her. I got
White
chicken. No, I got
Steak
I got chicken, but I like to get double protein. So they put a scoop of that seasoned beef on there, and it just overpowered the whole burrito. But
Yeah.
I don't like the cheese. Something about the cheese at Chipotle is just like specific to Chipotle.
The queso?
No, like the shredded cheese they
Or
put on the burrito.
shredded cheese?
It literally tastes like the Fiesta cheese I get out of my fridge, dude. Like it just wasn't anything special.
It's regular ass cheese.
I
I don't know.
Their salsa was kind of weird.
I don't eat salsa. So
I do. I get
really
I get salsa on my burrito, so that kind of threw it off too. I get fajita vegetables at Chipotle, which is like peppers and onions and stuff like that, like grilled. You know, I just like it.
Yeah,
like,
I'm a basic bitch. I get just.
I try
rice,
to get the closest
beans,
thing I
white
could
beans.
that I get at Chipotle to have a fair
Yeah.
comparison. And I'll tell you right now,
Right.
I ate half of the burrito and I was just sick of it, dude.
Ah,
I was so
don't know
disappointed.
how.
And the queso. When I go to Chipotle and I get queso, I am like sipping the last of it out of the thing because I love it so much. I got
So
like
I
I got a
opposed.
quarter of the way through Moses like chips and queso and I was tired of it. And they like I
Dude,
will
that's
say
crazy.
one thing they have that Chipotle doesn't is they give you as much chips as you want. Like literally they gave me
Yep.
like 3 bags worth of chips and I was like, God damn,
yeah.
we eating good tonight. And then I went and ate it and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
it's not good. I don't think I ever want to eat there again,
maybe
man.
you just had,
I will give it
maybe you
one
went to
more
the worst
shot because
O's ever, though.
I think the burrito would have been a lot better if I didn't get the seasoned beef. I will say that.
Yeah,
I think that
Yeah.
broke the burrito big time. But the chips and queso was just it literally tasted like queso that you get at the
Ugh.
store.
that's so sad. That's
And I've
depressing.
tried making Chipotle's queso before and I fucked it up and it tasted like Moe's. Like it was not right. It was almost like the condensed milk they use was to put too much. Like it tastes like there's too much condensed
Yeah.
milk in it.
I don't know.
I'm
really
very
like it.
picky when it comes to that style of
Apparently.
food.
Apparently.
I had to analyze it on that level in order to make a firm decision. But I'll tell you right now, like I could see how if I grew up eating Moe's, like I would have a bias towards that. But I didn't grow
Mhm.
up eating Chipotle. Chipotle didn't enter my life until like
Yeah.
senior year of high school or something like that. So
I didn't have Chipotle till like 2015, 16.
I think there's something about the simplicity that Chipotle has too that I like. Whereas like Moe's, it was like, God damn, there's a lot of choices. There's definitely more choices at Moe's. But like,
Yeah.
I don't know,
definitely.
man. I don't know what it is. It just a lot of it just tasted like
Oh,
just basic ass food.
I don't know.
Like I feel like if I had to sit down, I had the ingredients I needed, and it was like, all right, I need to make a Chipotle burrito, like make it taste like that, and a Moe's burrito. I don't think I can make a burrito taste like Chipotle, but I can make one taste like Moe's,
Right.
which is a weird thing to say, but I hope it makes sense. Like I just something about it was just like this isn't special. Like I don't feel like I'm getting a special experience. Like I feel like I could go to another burrito place and get a very similar experience, like Qdoba or something, you know. But like I've never had anything like Chipotle. But I heard Freebirds, that Freebird or something like that is like a Texas chain that's like that, and it's supposed to be better than all of them.
Before.
But I don't know. I'll have to try it.
Never heard of it.
But Chipotle is the standard for me, and it did not meet that standard. I'm sorry.
Chipotle's just don't like it. I used to.
You like Chipotle, Jeannie?
I love Chipotle. I was just there yesterday, and I had their
Bro,
brisket.
I was on the boat in Seattle when the first big E. coli outbreak happened at Chipotle. I was eating Chipotle on the mess deck. So like there's a bunch of like tables and there's a TV and everybody's just like hanging out, drinking coffee, shooting the shit. I'm literally there stuffing my face with Chipotle while I'm watching like this news report about an outbreak happening like down the street. Right? And I was like, fuck it. I've already eaten this much. If I got it, I got it. I'm gonna enjoy it. And people are like, bro, how are you eating that right now? It's like, dude, I already ate half of it. Like, if there's E. coli in this burrito, I'll tell you what, it tasted good. Like, I was like, that's how much I like Chipotle. Like I know some people, when they saw that and they were eating the Chipotle that could have been the Chipotle that was tainted, they probably would have went and like made themselves throw up or something, you know? But like, I was like, fuck it, dude, I'll go get some more. I love it that much. If I could own any franchise, it'd be a Chipotle. Or a Taco Bell. 'Cause Taco Bell is just the shit. And they're I think Taco Bell is the most innovative fast food restaurant out there. They're doing and trying things that nobody else is. You know, like how did nobody else think to make a Dorito taco? It just makes sense.
Right.
Or like, dude, their nacho fries, it pisses me off every time they take them away. Their fries are good. I like the seasoning on them. But
hell yeah, Taco Bell's good.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well,
Definitely.
it definitely feels weird without Chris here, but
it does. It is a little weird.
Like, I feel like he'd have a lot to say about the food stuff for sure.
Right.
But
yeah, I don't know. We'll see about next week.
Yeah. We'll see if he's back or not.
Yeah.
I hope he does, but
right.
What can you do?
We'll see.
And if he doesn't end up doing it anymore, we'll definitely like I'll do my best to get some guests in here every once in a while, even if they can only be here for like an hour. You know, it's still something.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
Yeah. Have you guys seen the guy on TikTok who does these things where it's like he does all these skits. He's a comedian and it says he's a director. I reached out to him on Twitter and hopefully it'd be cool if he answered. But like every time I see his TikTok, I'm like, dude, how does he keep coming up with these ideas? Like he did one where it was like it's like him and his friend talking, right? He's playing both of them. He never talks. It's always like words on the screen. And it'll be like me getting ready to meet up with getting ready to hang out with my homie, but I'm tired. And he's like, "Hey man, you coming over?" And he's like, "Nah, man, I'm too tired." And he's like, "Ah, man, I was hyped up." And the other guy's like, "Well, I'll still be there in spirit." And then all of a sudden it shows like the phantom like looked like of him like showing up and like hanging out with him, and it's like the Snapchat. And he's like floating and he's like, you know, playing beer pong or something like that. But like he's there in spirit, you know?
Yeah.
It's so genius, dude. And every single TikTok is something like that. You know? Like it was like there was one where it was like Mr. Beast went to his like restaurant, you know, and he's like, "I'll have the chicken McNuggets." And he's like, "Sir, this is a 5-star restaurant. We don't have chicken McNuggets." And he's like, "Well, you do now. I just bought the restaurant."
Yeah, I see that.
And then all of a sudden it shows him like it's like these very nicely taken pictures, but it's like it always has like the bar like it's a Snapchat. It makes it look like it's a Snapchat. And he's like sitting there with his one chicken nugget with like the garnish and everything all nice, eating it and stuff like that. And it's so funny. He has another one where it's like my teacher added me to his Snapchat, his private Snapchat, and it's like his teacher at school. He's like putting in work or whatever, and he's like grading papers or some shit. You know, it's like all these things. Like the teacher's trying to like be in with the lingo and stuff, but it's always like, you know, some nerdy shit. That's really funny. But yeah, that guy. Every time I see his TikToks, it's like crazy blown up, and I'm like, dude, how do you keep coming up with these ideas? But I think he only posts like once every day or two. So like there's that too, you know, like he definitely puts the time in to think of the stuff. But
yeah.
Like like you ever see a TikTok and you're like, "Damn, why didn't I think of that?" Like every time I see one of his, I'm like, "Dude, that's genius." Like how did nobody else think of that, you know? Just the way
I've had so many ideas where I'm just like, and then I'll see it like a week or two later on TikTok
like,
or something.
Damn it. Yeah. I mean, I would say anybody who wants to grow on TikTok, like what I did in the beginning was like I took trends and put my own spin on them. But then once you're, I mean, this is gonna sound like kind of cocky or arrogant, but like once your videos of like taking a trend and like doing your own spin on it, once those start to get more views than the actual like trend that you like took inspiration or copied, whatever you want to say, like once that happens, it's something about it feels weird. It's like people are like, you know, "Oh, you just, you know, like come up with your own ideas and stuff like that." I'm like, but if you make it different enough, it's fine. But in the beginning, if you're trying to start a TikTok, I think the key is definitely incorporate as many trends as you can with your own spin and your own niche and stuff like that. Which is it's a lot of work, but it's kind of like a hack though, because it's like TikTok favors that type of video right now. It is a trending type of video. People think it's funny. They want to be impressed or surprised by it. So I saw somebody put this thing on Twitter. It was like big content creator makes trend, small content creator uses trend to make their own content. Big content creator gets tired of the trend, old or small content creator becomes big content creator. Like they take over that trend. So that's an interesting way to look at it.
Yeah.
Like the cycle of a trend. Like how it makes content creators big. Like I'm sure there's tons of trends out there that have made like a content creator like explode that wasn't even their trend, you know, for sure.
Oh yeah, 100%.
100%, yeah.
Well,
it's complex.
It is.
But I'm sorry, we've been
aspect of recycled content, but
yeah, like I said, you definitely have to put your own spin to it.
Everything's been done. Dude.
And I also like the idea of like when you get to a certain size, like you can be the trendsetter, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Coming up with that idea that nobody else has is very hard to do.
Mm-hmm. Especially when it seems like everything's been done already.
Yeah, and I think everything I've done has in some way or another been inspired by an idea that I saw, you know, in one shape or another. So
right.
I don't,
a lot of people deal with that too.
Oh yeah. Well, I didn't realize we'd gone for almost 3 hours. So
yeah, it's been a long time.
My bad.
It's all good.
Well, we haven't talked in a week, so it was
podcast.
For sure.
Some deep stuff.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, it's like 4:30. I think I'm gonna try and stream Apex at like 6:30, 6 o'clock. So in like an hour and a half, maybe. If you guys are down.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't played in a while, so that'd be sick.
Yeah. I guess I'm gonna go film a TikTok and then edit these Venom TikToks that I have to submit to G Fuel to do. So big stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna finish the
I'll give you
Black Ooze
review. So I did the review. I think they're gonna like it if I execute it right again. I did the review of each like tub and each can, but at the end of the review, it's like Venom talking to me, like he's like, "I want to eat the child," and I'm like, "You can't eat my son," you know, or like something like that, you know. So I think that'll be funny. They're like short, so I gotta like go figure out how to like change my voice into what sounds like Venom.
That voice mod app has like all kinds of different stuff, and you can tweak the voice if you need to.
Yeah, I gotta do that. I gotta go watch some Venom videos to get the voice right.
Yeah. Or you could just Google search and see if anything comes up for like a voice mod or something like that for Venom.
Yeah. All right. Well, until next week.
All right. We'll see you guys next week.
See you next week.